Ryan Rimler, a junior from Heidelberg, Germany, and he's going to handle the kickoff duties. And this is one of the freshmen who we have not seen. Might make his Notre Dame debut on this kickoff. Sibo Flemister back deep to receive. And here's his first college touch. Got it from the 3, and off we go from South Bend. And Flemister gets through the first couple of tackles, stays on his feet, and this good-looking running back gets it out to the 26-yard line. So here's the Irish offense. Jafar Armstrong, the converted wide receiver, had 2 touchdown runs in the game against Michigan, with Boykin, Fink, Claypool, and Komet. They'll be handling the ball for Notre Dame. Up front, Liam Eichenberg was certainly tested by the Michigan stout defensive front. Had a good game. Eichenberg and Hainsey, the tackles for the Irish. Kramer and Bars, the guards. Sam Mustapher, the captain, is the center. And Brandon Wimbush gets it going from the 26-yard line with a look downfield. And Chris Fink with the acrobatic touchdown catch last week against Michigan takes it into Ball State territory to the 47-yard line before Jacob White makes the tackle.
Right out of the gate, Brandon Wimbush under control, was very relaxed on his little pump fake. Defender comes up, Fink sits it down in the hole nicely, deliver a strike.
Gain of 27 to get this one going. Run up the middle. Armstrong! Jafar! To the 4. Almost took it the distance on that second snap of the game. Antonio Phillips saved the touchdown as they run to the right. Michigan became such a quick strike team last year. They scored in the first minute and a half last week against Michigan. Might do it again here in game 2. And it's Armstrong. He'll be stopped just inside the 3-yard line. Jalen Thomas, the weak side linebacker, made the tackle for Ball State.
Well, I got the feeling that Notre Dame may just come out and hammer it straight at him for a while and try to establish that. But they came right up with the play action first and then decided to bust the long run.
Second down. It is Armstrong. He'll be stopped at the 1-yard line. So good job here by Ball State. Down inside the 5. Thomas again. Second tackle in a row for the redshirt sophomore from Ohio. Ian Book comes in the game here for Notre Dame. Ian Book, the last 2 snaps he's been in the game, the only 2 that he played against Michigan, he handed off for a touchdown. His last 4 snaps, 3 of them have been touchdowns. He's on a heater. He hands off, and it's another touchdown. It's Jafar Armstrong. He's the red zone handoff specialist.
You got Alex Bars pulling out, just at point of attack. It was basically an easy walk-in, but the point is, Ian comes in from goal line. What is the significance? Why is he in on goal line offense? Something that Brandon Wimbush couldn't do?
Right.
Get under center and hand off the tailback?
It's just funny stuff.
3 straight plays. It's really 4.
4 of his last 5 snaps, right? The only other one was a kneel down against LSU. He threw the dramatic touchdown pass that won the bowl game. Justin Yoon on for the extra point as he continues to move up the Notre Dame all-time scoring ranks. And the Irish take a minute 54 seconds to get on top of Ball State here. 7-0. We had a great chance to visit with Jafar Armstrong. He scored now 3 touchdowns in the first 4 quarters and change of this season. Was a wide receiver. Got the call. Wanted to switch you over to the running back position. And Doug, you seem to be taking to it quite well.
Really did, you know. And I always think when they ask you to move positions, it's like, oh, you're not going to help us at this position, so we're going to move you and try something different. It wasn't the case. They were thin at the running back position. He had an opportunity to move to the running. He runs a little upright. Now, he's a wide receiver. He's working on that, trying to get the lower pads. He has speed. He's got great instincts. And in a tough game against Michigan, the biggest question was going to be, here's a wide receiver playing running back. How's ball security going to be? Is he going to hold on to the ball? Is he going to be tough enough? Has not been a problem for him at all. 42-yard run you saw there. Kramer, the guard, Hainsey, the tackle, did a great job of clearing out space for Armstrong in his 3rd touchdown. Now, if there was one thing Brian Kelly was unhappy with, it was the kickoff performance by Justin Dorr last week. He kicked off 3 times. 1 was returned for touchdown. 1 was out of bounds. 1 he got a late hit on.
And then he went to the bench for the rest of the game. But Brian Kelly's going right back to him. Spent time with a sports psychologist this week trying to get Justin Dorr to perform in game the way he does in practice, because he has a very strong leg. Here comes a yard deep, and Malik Dunner was going to take it out. He lost it. Now he's got to go. And he's in trouble. He's brought down by Shane Simon for the Irish. One of their freshmen making the tackle. That's a long field here for Ball State. Dunner had some trouble.
He goes down to a knee after bobbling the ball. The ball's out of the end zone. He's going to have to return it. But before he gains control, he gets back up on his feet, which enables him to take off and run, get out near the 10-yard line. And
Dunner is a very good kickoff return man. Successful in the MAC last year, #2 overall, including a long touchdown.
He is explosive.
And we'll see him on offense. An offense that is led by Riley Neal, redshirt junior from Yorktown, Indiana. Grew up very close to campus in Muncie. Now, let's see, are they going to challenge this? What we were talking about, Doug? Are they back there for a safety? If he did have the ball in his possession?
Well, if he did have possession and then he was down, the ball was outside the goal line, so it would be marked just outside the goal line, inside the 1. But before he regained possession of the ball, I believe he was back up on his feet and then gained possession.
The ruling on the field was that the receiver possessed the ball, but his knee was on the ground at the time he possessed it. Notre Dame has challenged that when he possessed the ball, his knee was on the ground.
We're going to take a look, and taking a look along with us up here in the booth is Terry McCauley, our rules analyst. Terry, would you deem that as control of the ball when his knee was down?
I don't think so, Mike. It looks like he's got his hand on top of the ball. Does he have a firm grip with the knee still down? It looks like he picks it up to me before, before he really gains control. Gets the knee
After
up.
review, the ruling on the field stands. Ball possessor did not possess the ball with his knee on the ground. First down. Notre Dame is charged a timeout.
A little extra bobble helped them out.
Team timeout.
I think so. Yep.
So it'll cost him a timeout, and Brian's just asking. He had his hand on the ball while his knee was down, but you heard Terry explain so well the timing of it. So Mike New's team does not see the ball backed up inside the 1-yard line. The drive will start for Riley Neal at the 8. Ball State beat Central Connecticut State last Thursday, 42-6. Game played at home on campus in Muncie, and it was good for this team to get a win. They were 2-10 last year, didn't win a game in the league, but you talk about decimated by injuries. 7 season-ending injuries. They used 4 quarterbacks. They didn't have a chance. They're hoping that they are a healthier and better team this year. This would be one reason why James Gilbert, the running back from Indianapolis with the run, gained him a couple of yards. So Gilbert will be one of 3 running backs who will share the load. He was first team all-conference in 2016. Missed most of last year due to injury. Justin Hall is their best wide receiver. What a day for Danny Pinter. He played high school football 3 miles south of the stadium at Adams High School in South Bend. Plays as a visitor in his hometown today. Neal's pass is complete, and it's a first down to just about the 20-yard line. Riley Miller, who went to high school with Riley Neal. Riley to Riley. The connection's been going for years.
Just a quick out to the wide side of the field. Excellent timing. The ball right on the mark. Riley Neal can make all the throws, all of them.
From the 20, trying to set up the screen, can't get it to James Gilbert. It's incomplete. You mentioned that, Doug, when we talked to Brian Kelly, when we talked to Clark Lee, the Notre Dame defensive coordinator, they said this guy has NFL height, arm, mobility. He's a redshirt junior. It's his 4th year starting. He lost last year because of that injury, but when you see him when healthy, you can see those tools come to light. Fractured the tibial plateau in his leg in game 3 and missed the rest of the season. Here's a good-looking throw, and it's Justin Hall able to bring it in at the 43-yard line, a pickup of 23 yards.
If Ball State can protect the passer, they're going to be able to move the football because this kid can throw the football. This is another wide side throw. Had a little wheel route up there. Little confusion in the secondary. Turned the receiver loose. Hall's dynamic, and Dunner, number 4, dynamic playmakers.
It's Caleb Huntley now with the carry. He'll only gain 2 yards. This is Notre Dame defense that played very well against Michigan. Only allowed 10 points. Remember, Wolverines had a return touchdown. Khalid Kareem was the Walter Camp National Defensive Player of the Week for his efforts against the Wolverines. Tavon Coney and Drew Tranquil played every snap against Michigan. You'll probably see some younger players getting experience at the linebacking corps as the day goes on. Alohi Gilman stand out in his Notre Dame debut. The transfer from Navy, 6 solo tackles. Riley Neal's pass is complete. Went to the side where there was one receiver, and Justin Hall takes it into Notre Dame territory at the 43-yard line.
Great job of putting the formation into the boundary. 3 receivers are to the right. He's got a single receiver to the wide side, one-on-one. That's stealing for a good quarterback.
Nice start opening drive here for Ball State, and James Gilbert can't get past Julian Love. Coming off the corner, willing to make a tackle. No gain there. I like when you see a guy like Riley Neal. It doesn't take long. It doesn't matter the competition. Mike New was a talented quarterback at this level of football, and he went on to play some arena ball, got a cup of coffee in the CFL. You can tell when you see 15, he can play.
Yeah, he's got a great feel for things. He's athletic enough at 6'6" to do this kind of stuff.
Corey Lucanaria, the receiver, lost the ball after he was down, so it'll be marked at the 36 with third and about 2.5, 3 yards coming up.
You know, I bumped into a bunch of Ball State people this week while we were in town, and I said, you know, Riley Neal can throw the football. Yeah. If you can throw the football, you can move it. And it's a finesse game. Yeah, Notre Dame might be stronger up front. If they can protect, do some of the quick rhythm stuff, and then occasionally do those play actions to take your shots, he pulls the trigger on time, the ball is out, and he's very accurate.
Gain of 7 for Lucanaria on that reception. 3rd and 3 coming up. First timeout.
Timeout, Ball State. That's their first timeout of the half. Media timeout.
Okay, we will. 1/3 through the first quarter.
Timeout. Notre Dame did not win the challenge, therefore they have no more challenges.
Made that rainy trip for the very first time here in the state of Indiana. About a half dozen Indiana schools have now played Notre Dame in football. The trip from Muncie to South Bend, 2.5 hours if it's done at the proper pace. And they are here today. First down picked up on the pass by Riley Neal. Once again, his most comfortable target, Riley Miller. Julian Love with the tackle for the Irish. But the drive stays alive.
Boy, he has one-on-one coverage. It's press, and most college kids will run the fade against press, but instead he puts the brakes on, runs a hitch. I mean, Riley Neal with perfect timing and an excellent throw. And these are throws that are quick, so the defensive line is not getting to the quarterback yet. So the protection's been very solid so far.
Get into the 29-yard line. Hall, the receiver, in motion. Irish trying to bring pressure. Neal gets out of the pocket and just benches it. He gets rid of it to set up second down. Alohi Gilman was bringing some of that Irish pressure from the back end.
Gilbert at fullback there with your cut. And again, the athleticism to get out of the pocket at his size, to be able to just throw it away and get a 0 on the play. But this is the problem. If he's going to hold on the ball, Notre Dame's D-line can get after the passer.
And Clark Lee dialed up a little bit of pressure that time. James Gilbert on the carry to the left. He'll gain 2 yards. Tavon Coney and Drew Tranquil made the stop for the Irish. I mentioned every snap that was played against Michigan, it was 4 and 23 on the field. Those are those indispensable pieces that Notre Dame doesn't have a backup for just yet.
Well, they're hoping that if things could go as planned for Notre Dame today, that maybe some guys behind them could get some experience. But so far, they have played every snap.
And they're going to have to do that no matter the opponent. You guys aren't going to play every snap in the college season. 4 rush on 3rd and 8, and a good pass again to the reliable Riley Miller. Riley to Riley. They were both in the same high school, and you can see their natural connection.
Again, press coverage. So most college teams will fade this hitch route. Instead, he puts the brakes on, stays on the hitch, and great. See the ball thrown before the receiver turns, and accurately. The timing with these two is excellent.
That's the trust you get when you've played football with the same guy for a half dozen years. Pressure from the corner is picked up. Neal goes the other way, incomplete, as he was trying to get to Justin Hall. Asmar Bilal, the rover, was there on coverage. You saw a corner blitz from Julian Love on that play.
Notre Dame's starting to mix it up a little. You've got to find a way to get pressure, not let him stand there, because if he has time, he will complete passes. He's got athletes, enough athletes out there that are going to be good route runners. You've got to start pressuring the quarterback.
It's play 14 of the opening drive for Ball State, and it is Caleb Huntley inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. Chloe Gilman was there first, along with Julian Okwara. So for those long drives, he keeps Notre Dame's potent offense off the field. Ball State playing to its strength here. First down just inside the 9. Notre Dame brings the blitz. Riley Neal rolls away, runs away, takes a hit, but has the first down at the 5-yard line. Asmar Bilal was waiting for him, but Neal moves the chains.
Enough athleticism to avoid pressure. Got a safety blitz coming up through the middle. He avoids with his legs, and he only knows one way to play the game. Run full steam ahead. We talked to him about trying to learn to slide a little bit. He said we practiced it a little bit in the spring.
Wants no part of it there. Coming back from that injury, his health huge to this team's hopes in the MAC this year. First and goal on this opening drive. Neal going end zone, incomplete. You could see he's so good at throwing that back shoulder throw with the anticipation and arm strength.
Yeah, he had his guy Riley Miller out there one-on-one again, so he's down the bottom of the screen to the right. Tries to stick that back shoulder throw on, throws it a little low and away. But he's going to the correct matchup every time. And, you know, I'm a quarterback. I'm sitting up here looking for the one-on-one.
Right.
Every time he picks out the one-on-one matchup, and he's going to the right spot with the ball.
We'll go 3 tight ends here. Cody Rudy, number 8, is the 3rd tight end of the game. And they'll give it on the jet sweep to Justin Hall, coming around from his end. And he stopped at the 2. Gilman trying to treat his leg like a wishbone on Thanksgiving. Sets up 3rd and goal.
Well, Hall is your move guy. He's going to do these jet sweeps. He's going to be the wide receiver screen guy. Really athletic. They'll be moving him all over the place.
So the speed of 4, Tavon Cody coming across. He sensed that run that was being made. Notre Dame trying to get the proper players out there after Ball State substitutes. They get a chance to sub. Snap held until the Irish are set. 3rd and goal for Riley Neal. See movement. False start on the Ball State offensive line will back them up.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 71, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
That's Zach Ricketts.
At right guard, little lift up beforehand. This Ball State was going to have to throw the ball to get it into the end zone anyway. So you back up 5 yards, it might give them a little more space to work their passing game.
And even on that play, even though it was a play that was stopped, Khalid Kareem went down, and he's limping over to the sideline. Notre Dame has already lost a defensive lineman in the game last week. Myron Tagovailoa Amosa injured his foot, had surgery Thursday. Figures to be out for most of the regular season, but there's a chance he could return late in the year. Meantime, the left hand of the quarterback being tended to by the athletic training staff of Ball State. Riley Neal got a little cut on that left hand. See it bandaged that pinky. Perhaps on that shot that he took when he ran earlier.
Quarterbacks, we don't care about our left hand. We fall on our left shoulder. We fall on our left elbow. That hand gets mangled.
Protect the moneymaker.
Yes. Keep the other hand. Yeah, this one's just there for looks.
We met Riley Neal when they came and walked through the stadium yesterday. Very personable young man. Last year when he was injured, became a student of the game and really has taken that to the field in the first game this year and the first drive today. 3rd and goal. 3 options to throw to. End zone shot over the top. Lockenaria incomplete. Corey couldn't catch it. The Irish defense stiffens, and a field goal attempt coming up.
And Nick Coleman with great coverage. He had a little outside leverage and just kept his leverage the whole way. There was nowhere to go with the football. But a nice little drive put together.
Very nice. Kept it for 18 plays. Nathan Snyder, the punter, is the holder. And Morgan Hagee from Plainfield, Indiana, will try a 25-yard field goal. And a good opening drive for Ball State ends with a field goal from a man in the top 10 on the school's all-time scoring list. 7-3 Notre Dame. Opening quarter here in South Bend. Back here at Notre Dame Stadium, Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, Catherine Tappan, Terry McCauley, our rules analyst. See all the red up there, the top of the stadium. Those are the Ball State fans who made the trip from Muncie. Big thrill for them. We got that south corner of the end zone with their marching band. It's one of the better marching bands, by the way, in the MAC. Doug, I was told the pride of the Mid-America marching band is one of the strengths of the program.
You always stick the visiting team's fans up in the top corner where they can make the least amount of noise.
They're keeping good numbers here, that's for sure this time. Kickoff is taken once again by Sibo Flemister from the 7. And the freshman running back will be stopped at the 23-yard line. So Mike New gets the team on the bus, come up 2.5 hours. And this is common, Doug. We see this. They want to get the guys to see and take in all the grandeur of the stadium the day before the game.
Yeah, you don't want to be game day and it's their first glimpse at a big stadium or the surroundings in general and getting all of it. You get that out of the way the day before. They even watched the movie Rudy on the way down.
They did. And you know, playing in front of this many people, it's a big deal. Last year, their home games total under 60,000 and the sellout of 77,000 plus here. So this is a very big stage. So take it all in and remember every moment of it and play good football on top of all that. Jafar Armstrong, the first down carry, 4-5. Jacob White, 2-year captain middle linebacker for this Ball State defense on the tackle.
This is going to be the bigger challenge for Ball State defensively. How do you try to stop Notre Dame's offense? Offensively, they can move the ball a little bit.
Second down, bringing pressure off the edge, and they get to Armstrong with Jacob White yet again. So nice job for the man who's the leader of this team. He calls the defense. He sets the tone, sets the guys to the right spot.
He's the unblocked guy off the backside, just chasing, closing it down. You usually think the play will hit front side, but it took a little bit of time. Sure enough, you run it down from the backside.
It sets up 3rd and 9 for Brandon Wimbush. He'll throw down the middle. That could be intercepted. It's incomplete. Lamar Anderson had a chance to have a pick and had room to run too, as Wimbush was trying to get it to Alize Mack, the tight end.
Well, there's a safety sitting in the middle of the field. Yeah, the seam route might have been open if you stick it on him, but he's throwing it like a post route down the field. Very fortunate for Notre Dame that this ball was not intercepted. Actually, a nice job of getting the hand in there and breaking it up.
Yeah, Mack.
By Mack.
So 3 and out for the Irish. Well done by the defense of Ball State. Tyler Newsome on to punt it away for Notre Dame. 43-yard kick, fair caught by Lockenaria. It'll be good field position for Ball State at the 34. Trying to take the lead here against the Irish. Three and out. Little reason for belief on that Ball State sideline, and their coaches, especially defensive coordinator Dave Elson, just telling us to relax. Relax. This is what we planned on doing the entire week. Getting these guys settled there. They're fired up with good reason. Terrific 3 and out by the defense after a long drive set up a field goal. Ball State starts this drive at their own 34-yard line. It'll be 3 yards on the run for Caleb Huntley, one of those 3 backs who will rotate through for Mike New's team today. This is Mike New's 3rd year coaching at his alma mater. He's 47 years old. 7-18 is his career mark. They were, as we said, 2-10 and decimated with injuries. 4 wins the prior year, 4-8. So they feel the natural pressure that you would after 2 seasons like that. Injuries or not the year before. Everything's covered, so Neal, the quarterback, is going to just take off and go out of bounds with a loss of a couple of yards. So introduce you to Mike New. Those who don't know, the former MAC Offensive Player of the Year, 1993. Big background in New Orleans football, in the Arena League, and then around Drew Brees, Sean Payton, and the New Orleans Saints after a stop at Tulane. In that time in between 08 and 12, he was working in personnel with the Saints as well. So has a lot of offensive familiarity and concepts from a place where they do offense very well. With Kareem back in the game, 3rd and 9, the pressure's on, and Coney comes up with a sack of Riley Neal. Tavon Coney, leading tackler last year, gets in there for the Irish and forces the 3 and out.
But it's Jared Tillery on the nose that just swipes through and flushes him out of the pocket. Gets cleaned up. You can't get in 3rd and long situations if you're Ball State. You're going to have to protect the quarterback, and it turns the Notre Dame defensive front loose.
This Irish defense that did a very good job last week against Michigan gets off to a better start on this drive. Nathan Snyder, the sophomore from Marysville, Ohio, to punt it away. Chris Fink back for the Irish, takes the 42-yard kick, tries to pick up some blocks on the edge. Fink turned it upfield at the hash and goes down at the 37-yard line. He brings it back 6 yards. 3:27 to go. Notre Dame back on the field, leading by 4. Download the NBC Sports app to watch thousands of live sporting events. Stream for free with your NBCSN subscription. For details, visit NBCSports.com/live. I think they know the cameras. They were playing to the camera a little bit. Why not? Drive 3 for the Irish, taking over at their own 37-yard line. Notre Dame scored on its opening drive. Ball State responded with a lengthy field goal drive after a series of an exchange of 3 and outs. Short run there for Tony Jones Jr. Let's introduce you to some of the players on this Ball State defense. They've moved to a 3-4 defense this year. Chris Crum has to hold up there on the nose. Linebackers, 4 of them, playmakers on the edge. We've already called Jacob White's name a few times. Josh Miller from Indianapolis started his career at an NAIA school, walked on, has turned into the leader of this secondary. And a good buzz from the linebacker Jalen Thomas there. Eliminates that run opportunity, and it will be 3rd and long. This 3-4 defense effective so far.
He just shot the gap and beat the puller. Beat him in the backfield. Just great anticipation. Felt the offensive line pulling and just shot the gap.
Thomas and White, the 2 linebackers, have had a very good opening quarter. So Ball State will try to force back-to-back. Notre Dame 3 and outs. 3rd and 9. Wimbush throws incomplete. Coverage was good downfield. Chase Claypool was the intended receiver. And back-to-back drives. Notre Dame out quickly.
He may have gotten his arm hit by Shannon Hall on the rush, and the ball falls incomplete. He had a shot at throwing the in route. Shannon Hall came around and just gets a piece of the elbow. Boom.
Good call, Doug.
This Ball State defense has gotten off the field twice in a row.
That's one of the questions about this team this year. It was so hard to figure after those injuries last year. Tyler Newsome back to kick. Got a hang time here. Tough to catch. 32 yards and out of bounds. La Canaria. Well, the MAC has made noise already today. Liam McHugh has the update for us.
That's right, Mike. About 100 miles south of West Lafayette, Purdue, Eastern Michigan. This is Chad Ryland, a walk-on true freshman, and he drills the game-winning 24-yarder as time expires. And just like that, Mike, a MAC school upsets a major college football program from Indiana.
Well, that is awesome for Eastern Michigan. Chris Creighton, their coach, has taken over. And for those who don't know where Ypsilanti, Michigan is, it's not too far from Ann Arbor. It's about 8 miles away. That is one of the toughest jobs in college football, and Chris Creighton's done a terrific job making them competitive. Good last year, and what a landmark win today for Eastern Michigan. Wow. James Gilbert, the carry to the sideline, goes to the 36-yard line, gain of 6. We'll run you through some of the scores in the top 25. Georgia, who was here week 2 last year, jumped out early, as Ohio State has. Notre Dame will see Virginia Tech later on in the year. In Blacksburg, Oklahoma pouring it on a rebuilding UCLA team. Carry there by Gilbert. Will make it 3rd and about 2 yards. It's always interesting week 2 because week 1, you want to stand up there and make all these broad pronouncements. Not yet. You need to figure out what teams are really going to be. This week gives you a better idea. 3rd and 2. Ball State wanted to go quick. They will, and it won't benefit them. Malik Dunnert caught it. Osmar Bilal, the rover, try to catch him on the field. Well, he made the play, and it will force a Ball State punt.
Great anticipation, and you have to close that gap on a guy like Dunnert, who's quick and elusive in the open field. He was right on top of him as he caught the ball. Ball State did have 2 successful running plays to create a 3rd and short there. Could not come up with the 1st down. They like a lot of those little wide receiver screens, little off the play action. It's run pass option a lot of times. Get the ball in their skill receivers, skill guys' hands.
Nathan Snyder kicks it. Chris Finkfair catching at the 24-yard line. The Irish will take over there. 55 seconds till the end of the quarter. Each team with a scoring drive and then a couple of 3-and-outs for this opening quarter.
There is no other environment that you'll ever experience like you experienced tonight.
Yeah.
The atmosphere on this campus, in that stadium, let it sink in and check that off, because it doesn't happen anywhere else but here at Notre Dame.
Yeah, that was Brian Kelly after the game against Michigan last Saturday. It was rocking that night right throughout, kickoff to close. It's been a little bit quieter here after that opening drive for the Irish. Credit Ball State's big opening drive. Jafar Armstrong on the handoff, gets a crease and gets 11 yards. First down to the 35. Doug, what do you think? Is it lethargic Notre Dame play or Ball State thus far?
A little bit lethargic. I think that they made a couple big plays earlier, 2 plays, 69 yards, and it was too easy. And they might have relaxed a little. Now they're going to pick it back up, and the intensity has to come back.
Wimbush hit, but he finds Cole Kmet, the tight end. Gain of 18 yards for the first down as Wimbush stood in there and made the throw.
Just an uncovered receiver on a little quick out by the tight end there, and they gashed him on the run. So now the momentum of the offense getting into a rhythm.
At the 47, this time the tackle was beat, but Wimbush cleaned it up for him, and he throws sideline incomplete. Nope, they say drag the toe. Yes, Claypool dragged the toe, and it's a catch right at the first down line. Just shy of it, 2.5 yard. And they're going to stop it upstairs for a peek.
The ruling on the field was a catch in bounds. Previous play is under review.
And Claypool's a long target at 6'4". He's telling, I dragged my toe. I know I did. There you go. He dots that other one. Gets that right foot down.
Full extension of the right leg, toe pointed. On both of the last 2 plays, Cole Kmet, the tight end, has been totally uncovered. He was wide open on the completion, and on that play, he was running down the seam wide open. And I don't think Brandon Wimbush is seeing the field right now the way he did last week. I feel like even after he scrambled, it took him a while to realize Claypool was just sitting out there by himself. He might be a little sped up. I don't know. Just slow the game down in your mind and see the field. You know, he's sitting out there on the boundary for quite a while. You know, Brandon Wimbush is keeping his eyes down the field, which he should be while he's moving. Look for a big play. Look for a big play come to your outlet. But he's such a natural athlete that he would usually see Claypool sitting out there a lot earlier.
ACC officials this Notre Dame home game, as per usual. Larry Mallman, the replay official.
The field is confirmed. Catch in bounds.
And Larry confirms it upstairs. Eventually, Gary Patterson, the referee, tells us first down and keep it going here at the 38-yard line. Getting down to the back end of this opening quarter. Second of 3 home games to start the season for Notre Dame. Armstrong, a little traffic in there on that handoff, trying to pick up the first down. Had to get to the 37-yard line, where the officials run in from the side. Looks like he'll have it when the second quarter begins. After 1, Notre Dame 7, Ball State 3. We're back at Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local station. Glad you're with us on this Saturday. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC. Presented by Gillette. Quarter number 2 on this overcast day with temperature in the mid-60s in South Bend. Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, Catherine Tappan, Terry McCauley, our rules analyst. Irish leading 7-3. First ever meeting with Ball State. The 146th different football opponent in Notre Dame's history. First down picked up on that last carry by Armstrong. So from the 37, it's right back to him into the boundary. 2-yard gain. Here's Catherine Tappan.
quarterback DeShone Kizer. He's currently in Green Bay backing up Aaron Rodgers. He and Wimbush remain close friends, Mike, and he told me he often shares what he's learned in the NFL with Wimbush. I'll tell you about it in a second.
All right, Tap. Here comes 2nd and 8. Pressure's on. Wimbush finds a spot, fires downfield, incomplete. You want to get the streaking Miles Boykin. All right, Catherine.
Kizer's learned from Rodgers that the drill work in practice, it's meant to be hard, but when it comes to playing in a game, you have to trust your instinct and your muscle memory. So Kizer was telling me that it's when Wimbush is going to be successful this season is when he goes out there and just plays free. It's something that he's trying to reiterate to him all the time when he gives him the advice from Green Bay, Mike.
Yeah, Kizer was here when Wimbush got his career started, and Doug, you always talk about that freedom of comfort, of knowing where your open guys are. 3rd and 8. Twisting rush, gonna get hit. He throws, it's gonna drop. Boykin had it, couldn't bring it down to the ground. We'll see if they go for a 52-yard field goal or go for it on 4th down. Should be into a decent breeze here. They'll go for it.
Wimbush had pressure on him, and the throw was just out of the reach. Boykin almost made an outstanding catch laying out for it. 4th and 8.
Ball State has been bringing pressure. Try to get there with 4 this time. And Wimbush throws complete. It's Claypool to the 13. 1st down, gain of 22.
He hung in there. Claypool gets into the second with a double in routes. He has to come around the linebacker level. There's a hole to the inside. Great job of hanging in the pocket. Wimbush a little uncomfortable in the pocket, moving his feet, but delivered a strike. 4th down conversion.
Now 1st down, Tony Jones Jr. will slam it in there to the left. He'll gain about 2 yards. Jones carried 9 times for 45 yards in the game against Michigan.
Talking about playing loose and relaxed. I always hated playing for a coach that was hovering over your shoulder and made you afraid to make mistakes. They were, especially defensive-minded coaches that would talk about don't turn the ball over, protect the ball. You've got to play a little bit free and loose in order to make those big plays. You got to be willing to stick it in there in tight windows.
Jones trying to circle away from trouble, and he circles back into trouble. The speed of Ray Wilborn, one of those outside linebackers in this Ball State 3-4, forces 3rd and long.
They are active defensively. Yeah. They're slanting, moving, bringing linebackers all over the place, trying to penetrate a lot of negative plays.
I agree, Doug. I think they've been aggressive up front. David Elson, the defensive coordinator, is bringing some heat. Fink comes in motion. He'll cross the field. Wimbush is flushed again. Keeps it alive. And still keeps it alive. Now he goes down. Sacked by Brandon Martin back at the 26-yard line. Big loss of 10.
Again, pressure, bringing just 4 rushers. Jackson, 32, gets after him, flushes him, and then Martin winds up pulling him to the ground. Brandon Wimbush is at his best when he's being an athlete, moving around like that. Firmly believed in his mind, I'm sure, that I'm going to get away. We're going to make a play here. Ends up backing up field goal range a little bit, creates a 43-yarder.
Yeah, Ball State's front 7 getting it done. So there are the numbers on Yoon. Made a 48-yarder. Last week, this one's from 43. And this one does not hook in. It is wide to the right, no good. And Ball State's front 7 impacting the game and making it a game. 7-3, the lead remains for Notre Dame. He's enjoying watching the offense right now.
Tell you what, they're doing a great job in the pass game. You get press coverage, you run a little rub route, get off the defender. So now you play off on them, then the timing beats you. Just play off, take the sure throw, hit him in the chest. So you don't want to give him an easy throw, you get him press coverage. They still have an excellent time, and the ball is out, turned, the ball's already there. So, I mean, it's an efficient passing game going on right now for Ball State.
And everything everyone said about Riley Neal, their redshirt junior quarterback, we've seen so far. Here he is on 1st down. It is complete to Corey Lacanaria, the wide receiver, redshirt senior from Farmington Hills, Michigan. Gain of about 3. That 19-play, 85, very long opening drive was the only one. A couple of 3-and-outs after that.
The short passing game, it appears that is going to be their forte.
Notre Dame brings pressure. Tranquil was held, and the pass is incomplete as it's thrown to the far side for Lacanaria. It'll bring up 3rd down. Coming up. You got a chance to meet Drew Tranquil yesterday. Talk to him. Married man now.
During the game, I mean, last week he played every down, and the Michigan offensive lineman talking, "Are you really married, dude? Seriously?"
We saw the pressure coming, and Tranquil pulled down. 3rd and 6. Neal rolls at the sideline. Nobody over there with him, and that's 3 consecutive 3-and-outs forced by Clark Lee's defense. Game 2 is the Notre Dame defensive coordinator off a terrific job limiting Michigan to 10 last week.
A nice job by Notre Dame in coverage on both of those. Clark Lee dialing up blitzes last week, dialing them up again, getting pressure. You're going to have to change up some looks, because you get vanilla looks to this quarterback, he will complete passes on you.
Clark's first time as a coordinator, been very solid in the way he's approached the job so far. Great calm. His personality fits that. Not a great kick. You can hear Fink yelling, "Peter, get guys away from it." He fielded it on the hop. The ball comes out on the ground there. I thought it was down before the ball came out. And in fact, that is the ruling. So we'll stay over at the 27-yard line.
Ruling on the field was ball carrier was down. Media timeout.
Clearly down. So the Irish will take over at the 27. Well, we watched this in break for a couple of reasons. One was a touch by a Notre Dame player. It was not. Then watching Chris Fink on the return as he was tackled. There's a body part come down before the ball comes out. Nothing down yet as he's on a player. His elbow comes down right as the ball comes loose there. It's a very close call. And we had the timeout there. And upstairs they chose not to stop the game. So it goes on. And it is Jafar Armstrong coming from a receiver spot on the edge, and it's a gain of 8. I want to bring in Terry McCauley here. Terry, was that close enough to certainly look at, right?
Absolutely, it's really close, and you know, if we spend a little more time on it, we can really freeze it and see exactly when the ball comes loose with the elbow down.
There was a flag on the last play, by the way, so let's watch this.
Foul. Legal block below the waist.
It sure looks like it's coming out before the elbow hits,
but certainly close enough to stop the game.
I sure think they would have, and they made a determination and replay that way.
Right, and you have that time during break, even though we're in commercial, especially here where the game is being stopped upstairs and not by a coach's challenge. They have the time to look at that during break.
Sure, and by not stopping it, basically replay said, we've confirmed this.
So no turnover there, but on that run of 8, an illegal block by Notre Dame will erase that gain and send the Irish back. This is going exactly the way Mike New would hope, not on offense after that opening drive, but everything else in terms of the game is exactly what he had hoped for.
Absolutely. His defense is getting off the field. Offense had the one big drive, did not quite finish it. But sitting at 7-3 and probably could have had a turnover there on the punt.
1st and 20. Wimbush had a tough time getting the handle on that and nearly threw an interception as Ray Wilborn was coming from the end. Doug, they're having a hard time picking up the pressures of this 3-4 Ball State defense.
They really are. It's just a 3-down look. But the backers coming off the edge, they're coming off the slot receiver as well and slanting the defensive end. So there's all kinds of penetration. Man in the throwing lane, and probably you got to eat that ball and just take the sack.
Well, he made the good first decision not throwing it. I thought he mishandled it, but there was nowhere to throw, and then he tried to go sidearm and get it out of there. Now 2nd and 20, and Wimbush throws complete for the first down to Jafar Armstrong to the 41-yard line. Doug, he's the starting running back, but he is a former receiver and can catch it very well.
Little post on the outside and a corner out by the slot receiver. Armstrong, it clears it out for him, an easy throw and catch. But again, there was pressure on Wimbush getting hit as he's throwing a football.
24 on that pickup. One more time this pressure. Wimbush, look out. About to get hit. Got rid of it to Claypool, and Chase Claypool just shy of the 45. Pickup of 4 yards. 3-4 defenses are not as common in college football as you might see starting tomorrow at the NFL, and can give you some protection problems, and an aggressive defense is causing that here.
A combination of athletes can come from basically anywhere.
In the middle, it's caught by Armstrong. Takes it inside the 30-yard line for a first down. Somebody lost a shoe. It's right there in the middle of the play. It was the official. He's getting it back on.
Heading right up the seam, sitting it down. There's a middle safety who plays extremely deep for Ball State and is not a threat on these seam routes. Nice delivery of the ball. Catch it and cover up, though. You're in traffic there.
Gains of 24 and 27 through the air for Armstrong. On the ground, it's Avery Davis trying to get to the outside. He's a converted quarterback, and Davis just gets 2 yards in that run. He's getting a look with Jones and Armstrong in that Notre Dame backfield. Davis is sophomore from Cedar Hills, Texas. Wimbush incomplete for Davis. I think it was right there, but Davis wasn't ready for it. Third down coming up.
On the back end, Notre Dame is seeing a lot of soft zone coverage, so these seam routes are there. Davis short arms it. Boykin had cleared through the zone and cleared it out. It was clean sailing for Davis. Nice delivery of the football by Wimbush.
Notre Dame's all-time leading rusher, their running backs coach, Autry Denson, there on the sideline, has an inexperienced combo of players playing. This is 3rd and 8. Wimbush, uncatchable. Kevin Austin, the freshman, was covered. Field goal from here would be 43 yards. Yoon just missed one of similar distance.
That was only a 3-man rush. Those are the times that Brandon Wimbush can usually hold on to the ball, move around, and create. And he pulled the trigger early and sailed that out for another 4th down opportunity.
So it's to the opportunity for a 43-yarder that Yoon just missed on the last drive to try to pick up the 8. Wimbush middle, nope, incomplete. And Ball State mixing defense, bringing pressure. Effective again on defense as they will get the ball back.
Boy, it's only a 3-man rush again. This time he had plenty of time in the pocket, was trying to let people work. But again, it's an 8-man drop in coverage. And those creases behind him get narrow. Now, the longer he holds on to it, there's going to be a crease in there. But he misfires. He rushed the throw just a touch because he had to anticipate. But with 8-man drop, there aren't a lot of windows down there. That's when Brandon Wimbush usually holds on to the football and moves around.
Well, Ball State will try to get his offense going here. It's 5th possession. They've gone 3 and out their last 3. And Riley Neal, the quarterback, gives it to Caleb Huntley, the running back, to the 32. It's a pickup of 6 yards. So when Gilbert, the better back, was hurt last year, Huntley had to come in as a freshman. He had over 1,000 yards, 1,003 yards. Big physical guy, gets some tough yards. Can only get 1 there as Tranquil at the bottom starts the tackle party. It's 3rd down for this Notre Dame defense.
Well, it's 3rd and manageable. I kind of liked Ball State coming out and throwing the short passing game on 1st and 2nd down. The 3rd down situations are a little tougher. But again, you know, they're also thinking work the clock a little bit as well and shorten this game as much as possible.
4 receivers, the back Huntley next to the quarterback. He fires, it's intercepted on the deflection. Jalen Elliott from his safety position. Knocked down at the 31-yard line. The pressure on the back end, Nick Coleman coming in to force the deflection on the pass. And Elliott there for his first career INT.
It's Nick Coleman in coverage on a slant route, which is very difficult to defend. Gets a hand in there and tips it into the air. Tight coverage. Notre Dame is tightening down their coverage now. They're a little tighter on him. Little bump. Got the arm in there. Deflects the pass. No more easy throws because this kid beats you with timing. We're going to disrupt the route. Get our hands on the receivers now.
So the Irish take over at the 31-yard line. Great field position off the turnover. And Wimbush gives it up the middle. Tony Jones Jr. breaking tackles to the end zone. Touchdown Notre Dame.
Mustapher at center turns and walls off the left side, creates a north-south cut, and it's off and running for Tony Jones, breaking tackles. Nice job at the point of attack, walling off any kind of pursuit from the backside. Just create a wall so when people are flowing with the play, it creates a north-south cut.
Jones, who made a mistake earlier when he circled back and lost yards on a running play, gets his hands back on it, and the junior from Florida able to take it in from 31 yards. Justin Yoon adds the extra point, and the Irish take a double-digit lead for the first time today. 9 seconds after the Elliott interception. It's Jones for 6. Number 6 with 6. And the Irish up 11. Well, tomorrow, a couple of Notre Dame offensive starters the last 3 years make their NFL debuts. Mike McGlinchey in San Francisco, Quentin Nelson with Indianapolis. Both will start. Both played a lot, especially last year. Went in the top 9 in the draft. So rare for guys on the same side of a college offensive line. Doug, what about the replacements?
Done a heck of a job. Leon Eichenberg stepping in left tackle is the least experienced of everyone up front, and then he has Alex Bars moving from right guard to left guard to kind of help him out. They held up pretty good last week. Had some penetration or some pressures on the quarterback off of Liam Eichenberg at left tackle, but overall a real solid job last week. They are still going to be a physical, talented offensive line.
Jonathan Dorr to kick off. I've screwed up Jonathan's first name 2 consecutive weeks. Bench me. That's terrible. And this one is out of bounds, which he did last week as well. And this was a big part of the story this week. Use that powerful leg. Forget about the directional stuff.
Kickoff
Get
out
the
of bounds.
touchbacks.
Kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
And it happens again for Dorr. So that'll bring the ball out to the 35-yard line for Ball State. Brian Boley and Brian Kelly have tried very hard because they need to see Dorr not just kick off, but placement kicks as well, thinking towards next season when Justin Yoon is done.
And if you ever have an injury with Justin, that he could step in and be dependable this year.
He's talented, man. Brian Kelly loves to play golf. Gave us the analogy as the first down carry for James Gilbert goes for 4 to the 39-yard line. And we've all been there when you've got it on the range, but you can't take it to the first tee. And that's what happens in practice, taking it to game situations for Dorr. So they're working on that now with Jonathan. Ball State, it's been a while since they picked up a first down after a great opening drive. Pressured by Kareem, the pass is complete. But tight end Nolan Given is stopped by Tavon Coney, who's having a very good first half. That sets up 3rd and long.
Tavon, very athletic, gets after the quarterback, but coverage downfield is much, much tighter. The easy throws are not there. Defenders are right on their receivers. I think Notre Dame defense has picked it up a notch.
Ball State 0 for 5 on its last 3rd down conversion attempts after picking up the first 3 of the game. Third and 9. Julian Okwara pressures from the edge. Riley Neal escapes and has the first down. Just shy of midfield. He steps out of bounds.
Great pass rush by Julian Okwara, but at 6'6", Riley Neal is elusive enough to get away, fast enough to outrun people and pick up a first down. He did go out of bounds, though. He didn't lower his shoulder.
That's right. So, that's a good point. After that lengthy opening drive, an 18-play drive, finally another first down. Gilbert comes to the edge. He'll get another first down. Take it inside the 42-yard line. So James Gilbert, a 1,300-yard first-team All-MAC back 2 years ago. Ball State picking up the tempo a little bit. 1-yard run. That time for Gilbert. Kurt Heinisch with the tackle. Sophomore from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We have an injured player for Ball State. Alex Joss, their guard. He tore his ACL week 1 last year. Missed 11 games last season. Not putting any weight on that left knee. Let's hope that that's not a similar injury. A young man from Novi, Michigan. Saw a little bit of a rotation at the guard spot last year because of Joss's injury and his return. He had a tough fall getting back to playing condition at a bit of a setback in the fall camp, but was cleared right before the game to play. He played a little bit last week. So Zach Ricketts, Richard Jr. comes in. He's played locally too. Michiana is the regional area right around South Bend. He's from this area. Neal retreats, throws that away. Didn't get to the line of scrimmage. No eligible receiver there. Let's see if that's intentional grounding or not.
Well, he had Gilbert trying to get out on a screen, and he kind of got held up, so he whipped it past his ear and out. Incomplete.
So Gilbert, they say, was close enough as an eligible receiver. Terry McCauley nods on the opposite side of our booth.
It's nice having a Rubus guy up here. Get us straight.
Oh, yeah. First guy I'm buying dinner for on the road every year. Saves us plenty of stress. 3rd and 9 here for Ball State. Here comes the pressure. Neal hangs in there, and he fires high. Incomplete. Well, Canario was the intended receiver, but the pressure's coming right up the middle from 99, Jerry Tillery.
There he is, right on the nose, slipping, clubbing, sprinting through the quarterback. Gets a little lick in there, too. Got to be a little careful.
Had an enjoyable visit with Jerry yesterday. Very personable, intelligent young man. You'll hear that coming up at halftime. 4th and 9. And a quick kick for Riley Neal. Going to pooch it down there, and it'll be stopped inside the 5. And that's a Riley Neal's draft tape when it's built in a year or so, right?
Do it all. Randall Cunningham.
Ben Roethlisberger's done that recently. Well, you're the guy who's
Tom Brady's done a few of them.
You scored on a drop kick.
See, but I score points.
I score points.
Yeah, they just punt it down there. I kick it through the uprights.
I'm Doug Flutie. I score points. That's beautiful. At the 3-yard line.
One of the most nerve-wracking plays in my entire career. You know, if I miss
drop kick in New England with Bill Belichick, end of your career.
If I miss that, it's the last play of my career, and I'm an idiot.
That was pretty cool. Remember that well. Worst starting field position for either team thus far. Notre Dame from its own 3. Tony Jones Jr. Lowers the shoulder, gets it to the 19-yard line, 1st down. Well, Flutie not only scores points, he can throw the football in a bucket. However, you and Riley Neal had a little throw-off yesterday when Ball State came for their walkthrough. I put on my Twitter feed the one that you made, but Neal comes out here in front of the Heisman Trophy winner and a walk-off winner. That was a blast. Wimbush got hit, put it up top, didn't get everything under a nice interception. Up in the air to grab it, Josh Miller. And he brings it back to the Notre Dame 41-yard line. A little bit of a words and physical pushing back and forth after Wimbush got hit, was being blocked after the pick.
Well, it's pressure on Wimbush, and this is the 3rd time today. He has just thrown one up for grabs. Coming down with the interception. Miller, I tell you, he's put like 3 of these that could have been picked off so far. This time Miller comes down with it and gets a good return out of it. And then there was a little ruckus going on in the backfield after the fact.
Here comes the hit. And the good pressure from Jalen Thomas again, who's been the defensive star of this first half for Ball State. And then Wimbush became a target for Thomas. And that's where the pile needed to be cleaned up.
Eichenberg comes to the defense of his quarterback.
That happens in an NFL game. You're more likely to see a flag. They try to protect the quarterbacks, and there's rules about that as well. Timeout taken here by Ball State, as they were not organized the way they wanted to be for this sudden change play as they take over at the 41-yard line. So this is Ball State's opportunity. There was the turnover that Notre Dame capitalized on right away with the Tony Jones Jr. score, and now the chance here. So Ball State is trying to do what Ball State did in December. Do you remember December of this year? Not here, but right behind us in basketball. Notre Dame was number 9, game tied on a Matt Farrell 3. But Taylor Persons, who's coming back this year, one of 4 returning stars on Ball State's team, hit a 3. Ball State beat Notre Dame 80-77 to pull the basketball upset. Purcell Pavilion right behind us. It was the first time that Mike Bray's team lost a non-conference game at home in 4 years. Mike's team has won plenty of other games along the way, but the Ball State fans remember their last trip 150 miles north from Muncie. They're trying to double up on the upsets. So Justin Hall takes the jet sweep. He'll gain 3. Julian Okwara off from his defensive end spot. Okwara got the start today because of his good play last week.
He's an elusive pass rusher. He's so crafty, quick, can turn the corner. He's slippery. You know, he wasn't the most physical guy a year ago. He's gotten a little heavier, a little stronger, but his pass rush skills have developed.
A couple of tight ends to protect. Riley Neal's in trouble here. Gets rid of it. Incomplete as the heat was off from Asmar Bilal. Here's Catherine.
Well, Mike, just an injury update from the Ball State sideline. Alex Joss, the senior left offensive lineman, is out right now. He's going to be reevaluated at halftime with a left knee injury. And Mike, that is the same left knee that he had the ACL repair on. You were right.
You were hoping that that wasn't the case, but wish him the best. One of their better players, and he was one of the players they lost last year when they lost 7 starters to injury. Really a huge part of the reason they were 2-10. This is a much better team this year. Here's the pressure from the Irish. Riley Neal throws it. It is incomplete. Justin Hall had it. Couldn't hold on as he hit the ground hard. Nick Coleman has done a nice job being around the ball here this afternoon for the Irish.
He really has. I mean, this is a tough play to defend. You're in press coverage. Got all this field to work with. He runs to the outside. Ball's put in a good spot, back shoulder for Hall. Coleman just gets his hand in there and knocks it out. He feels when the receiver reaches for the ball. He really didn't turn his head, but he felt him reaching for the ball, got the arm in there and knocked it out.
Ball State going to go for it on 4th and 7, and Neal hit through high, and it is held on to by Lockenaria, and the spot's at the 30. That's a first down. Pretty good pass and catch under pressure.
He's got pressure in his face and delivers a strike. It sails a little high. Lockenaria goes up and hangs on.
That's nice from the 30. Again, Irish pressure, and it is thrown incomplete as Neal is really feeling the heat. Penalty flag is down over on the Notre Dame sideline.
It's where you got to get creative in your pass protection. Start moving the pocket as
Legal
much.
formation, offense, 5 players in the backfield, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Always use the phrase multiple launch points. Change up where the quarterback's going to be. Get it out quick, move them. There's no end of line. There needs to be someone on the end of the line to the left side.
And now 1st and 15, and James Gilbert runs to the edge, got the penalty back and more. Gilbert close to a first down and gain of 13 yards. Tavon Coney busy in this first half, making the tackle.
Ball State's had a little bit of luck getting out on the edge and stretching the defense a little bit to make the north-south. He gets all the way to the corner.
2nd and 2, putting his shoulder down is Gilbert, and he'll pick up the first down at the 19-yard line with 4:21 as they stop it to move the chains.
A good little mix. 1st and 2nd down runs to pick up the first down without having to throw the ball, without having to pass protect, which is the biggest challenge of the day. One-on-one coverage down the bottom of the screen.
He looks that way, goes that way, and Julian Love says, not going to happen.
Julian did a great job at jumping outside technique and forcing an inside release, so he didn't have the opportunity to go up the boundary. That way, Julian Love can find the ball a lot easier, being in the outside technique position.
He's experienced.
Nice.
He knows how to use that hands to get himself back on the inside there. You know, Love was a very good performer. The 3 picks last year, a couple of them pick 6s for touchdowns. Questions about his focus early on in the spring camp, what he was trying to do, a lot of one-on-one plays, but boy, is he playing well now. Neal, a lot of receivers over there and a lot of bodies as well, and that's incomplete. 3rd and 10 coming up, and you know, if you're Ball State, Doug, you got to be thinking, get a field goal here. It's a 1-possession game. It's an 8-point deficit. You get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Your defense is a stop away from getting you to the locker room with belief So don't take a sack. Don't give up a big negative play here.
You don't want to give up the negative play, but I'll tell you right now, Riley Neal wants to get the first down and stick this in the end zone. But the coaches are thinking that way. Be smart. The field goal works. Third down, tough to protect. Third and long. You might have to hold on to the ball a little bit.
See if Notre Dame heats him up. Late play clock. Irish bring 5. Neal escapes, buys time, takes off. Puts the shoulder down and gets the first down. Inside that 9-yard line. I like what we've seen from Riley Neal here today.
Great pressure by Kareem. Coming off the left side. So escape at 6'6", athletic enough to outrun this front and the linebackers. And again, he knew where the first down marker was, and he was going for it.
We got some confusion. You got a lot of bodies running on, running off. Now they're all set. Right personnel groups. First and goal for Ball State at the 8. Justin Hall came in motion. Throw it back to the offensive lineman. Go get him, Danny Pinter. The kid from South Bend almost had a moment to remember. He was a tight end last year. He put on 27 pounds in 23 days of the offseason, getting prepared to be an offensive tackle. And his former tight end almost had a dream homecoming moment.
Love the play call, but his buddies don't get the block for him. Oh, he's got too much space between him and his blockers.
Oh, man. Moment of a lifetime if his guys would have got him a block. Second and goal, and on the run, it's Neal. Pulls it down and gets rid of it. Incomplete. Man, did he handle that well. Adams High School in South Bend. The Eagles of Adams High School. Danny Pinter doesn't look like a tackle there, does he? We told you he bulked up from that tight end position last year. 5,100 calorie per day diet. Also known as covering football on the road. 27 pounds in 23 days. He bulked up, playing offensive tackle now. And the former Adams Eagle almost had a great memory here. Timeout's going to be taken before this snap.
Timeout.
Ball State's going to take it. It's their last one.
It's the third and final timeout of the first half.
Pinter's High School. Adams lost to Mishawaka last night, 51-27. We're here 6-7. Friday night's a fall too. You get to watch all the high school scores every Friday night. It's so important in this Michiana, the Michigan-Indiana border area.
I stare out the window and watch the high school games right from the hotel.
The lights are a couple of miles away from our hotel, one of the stadiums here. We'll go through the scores of the opponents on the schedule this year for the Irish. And Virginia Tech, didn't they look good in the game they played on Monday night against Miami? Very solid performance by Vatech.
Oh, no doubt. They dominated that ball game at the beginning. Plus Foster on defense, cranking up.
Michigan got back at it. Vanderbilt is here next week. You know, Northwestern looked good in the opener, but that Duke team we saw here last year once again comes up with another solid performance. They go to Evanston and beat a Northwestern team that had some energy after they beat Purdue. But Eastern Michigan beat Purdue, so now you're learning about what people.
If you can throw the football, it's a great equalizer for all the size and strength.
Notre Dame's red zone defense has been excellent in the first 6 quarters of this season. See what they do on 3rd and goal. Neal, end zone, incomplete. They ran a little rub over there with the 2 receivers trying to get Justin Hall free, and field goal time for the Cardinals.
Great job by Jalen Elliott getting his head around, fighting off the little rub, little slip. We used to call it scrape. If the ball had been thrown up the field towards the back of the end zone, he had a shot. But usually you're fading that receiver towards the sideline. He threw the ball early, falls incomplete.
Morgan Hagee had a 37-yarder blocked last week against Central Connecticut. This is a 23-yarder. And he's knocked through his first field goal, Indiana native. It is a 1-possession game, 14-6. Kick off the season of Sunday Night Football here on NBC. And by the way, the games on Sunday night kick off a little bit earlier this year, 8:20 Eastern Time. Also a new Carrie Underwood Open game on. It's really good. Got a sneak peek. So be ready for that. See you for football night tomorrow night. Ryan Rimler kicking off. Notre Dame's deepest back is at the 10-yard line. As this kick comes back, it will not be fair caught, so Sibo Flemister will take it. This directional kick, he'll use his speed to get to the blocking and go down at the 34-yard line. You know, on that Green Bay roster, there are a couple of Irish players from last year who are there. Equinemius St. Brown making the Packers roster as one of the 53, a wide receiver. Greer Martini on the practice squad. We mentioned Nelson and McGlinchey. They'll get starts for the Colts and the 49ers respectively. Josh Adams made the Eagles practice squad, and Durham Smythe, the tight end, making the Dolphins 53. So the guys here last year that made NFL rosters through camp and get started tomorrow. Brandon Wimbush back at it from the 34. He got hit from behind. Lost the football. They're scrambling for it, and it looks like Notre Dame got it back. Christian Albright came off the edge, was able to knock it free, and the combination of the center, Mustipher, and Wimbush get it back.
Great awareness by 51 Albright to go for the ball. He knew that Wimbush didn't see him. He got a good strip. Notre Dame does get it back. This 2-minute is when Brandon Wimbush is usually in his element, where he can wheel and deal a little bit, starts using his legs.
Loss of 5, again coming off the edge is Albright, but Wimbush gets it out, and Jafar Armstrong takes it to the 40-yard line. It's 3rd and 4 with 1:40 till halftime. With 51, Christian Albright off the edge is making an impact these last 2 plays.
Well, out of a 3-4, you got 4 athletic linebackers that can come from anywhere.
Beat Liam Eichenberg on those last couple of plays. Taking that wide edge on him. This time protected. Wimbush took a peek. Nothing there. In trouble. Big trouble. Keeps it alive. In Russell Wilson mode. What will he do? Try to run for it. And he won't get there. He ran a lot. He gained a yard.
He gained a yard. I'm sorry, but I enjoy that. I really do. Not what coach wants to see, I'm sure. Little bit of pressure. He's used to being, if something's not clean for Brandon, he's used to being able to move around and wait for somebody to break wide open. Just a phenomenal athlete.
As you're watching this turning clock, Ball State out of timeouts. They can't stop it, so Notre Dame is draining as much time on the clock there. Wimbush almost lost that on this. He got hit, juggled the ball. It has not been a crisp half for Notre Dame offensively.
Would you dare go for 4th and 2 just to get another score?
At the 40.
Absolutely not.
No
Let
way.
it run all the way down.
Notre Dame.
No way.
He let it run all the way down.
For the first half.
Lead that clock.
1
Ball
minute
State
timeout.
would have stopped it in all likelihood if they had timeouts left, but they've emptied those. So 21 seconds till halftime. And Liam McHugh and Chris Sims getting ready in the corner of the end zone for the State Farm halftime report. Break down the first half of today's game. See what Chris thinks of why Notre Dame offensively hasn't been as crisp. All the scores, the highlights, that upset by Eastern Michigan, and my visit with Jerry Tillery, who's been around the world in his couple of years as a Notre Dame student. All coming up, State Farm halftime report. Fun to, before the games get going, sit in the back in our green room here with Chris and Liam and Terry, you know, watching games, kicking back. Then you get to come here and work for 3.5 hours. It's a good gig on Saturdays.
Watching more football.
That's right.
We're basically just watching football.
Right. All right, Tyler Newsome to punt it away.
Not quite sitting in a tunnel doing a pregame.
that was Thursday. A little more calm here. One player has been very good for Notre Dame this year. Doesn't get a lot of conversation. John Shannon, their long snapper. He's down there covering many of these punts by Newsome as well after his snaps. Another perfect one delivered. Newsome doesn't get his greatest kick away. A line drive 41-yarder. And Lockenaria brings it back to the 22-yard line with 12 seconds till half. It is Ball State football to start the third quarter. So we'll see what the Cardinals will do with this limited time. As you see 54, John Shannon.
Really should just kneel down on the ball, but sometimes you look for a wide receiver screen or dump a screen and see if the guy can crease it and take it off. I didn't mind coaches that would do that because it's an extra 20 yards passing.
Had your stats.
But
Yeah, they're going to take a knee
Take
here.
a knee and get out to halftime, down
Hey,
a score. And get
this
the
is
ball.
great for Mike New's team. I mean, let's forget what happens in the second half for a second. For a team that was a 2-win team last year, devastated by injuries, to come here and be right in the middle of the game, here at the middle of the game, halftime, is fabulous for them. And will do great things for them no matter what happens in the second half. And they get the ball first. It'll be a tie game coming up. 14-6 Irish at the break. Stay tuned. Liam and Chris at the State Farm halftime report right after these messages and a word from your local station. 5-touchdown favorite Notre Dame, only leading by 1 touchdown. 14-6 here as we get set for the third quarter. Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, Catherine Tappan with you in South Bend. Notre Dame outgaining Ball State in large part 2 big plays. Ball State controlled the time of possession. All these first half stats brought to you by Gillette. With the Irish getting the long run by Jafar Armstrong that set up the touchdown. And then the one-play 31-yard run by Tony Jones Jr. And Notre Dame's defense, despite a 19 and a 13 play drive, limiting Ball State to field goals. So Doug, Ball State very much in this game as we get set for the third quarter.
Yeah, offensively, Notre Dame has only had the big plays. They haven't established a drive. They made a bunch of big chunk plays. And Ball State's biggest challenge on offense is going to be pass protection. They had some success throwing the football, a little bit running, but pass protection, don't get in the third and long situation.
Jonathan Dora put one out of bounds. This one with good hang time down to the 1. And Malik Dunner brings it back for Ball State. They'll get across the 20. A return of 20 and to the sideline. Here's Catherine.
Well, Mike, Brian Kelly told me at halftime that everybody on his team needs to be better. He thought the defense did a good job, but he said, we have zero energy in this game right now. The process needs to be better. They need to pay better attention to detail. And he said he was going to go in at halftime and challenge his team on all these traits. Mike New, on the other hand, he's proud of the defensive effort overall from his team, but he said we need to sustain offensive drives and accept the challenge of the one-on-one matchups on the perimeter. Mike?
All right, Tap, great stuff. That bookending of drives, the 19 and the 13 play drive. The 2 sustained ones. After that, not much. Bunch of 3 and outs in a row against this good Irish defense. First down run begins with James Gilbert, their best back. And he gets a gain of about 4 yards.
I like what they're doing with this formation. They're putting 3 receivers to one side and isolating one-on-one weak side.
Right back to Gilbert. Has a hole to run, and he's got the first down. At the 31-yard line, Tavon Coney with the tackle.
So if you're going to leave the receiver one-on-one to the wide side of the field, you're going to get throws down here. If not, you're going to have to bring a safety over top, and then you can run the ball against them.
I put 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen, and it's just an easy access run to pick up the first down for Neal. I thought they had marked the last one for 31. It was just shy of the first down mark. They pick it up quickly. There are the Riley Neal numbers. They don't look pretty. The one interception that he threw did lead to the Notre Dame touchdown in the second quarter. Good Neal, good size at 6'6", 225. Brian Kelly said this week it reminds him of Tony Pike, quarterback who he had at Cincinnati back in the day that played the NFL. And some believe Neal has NFL abilities with the arm and the mobility. Gilbert the carry there, 4 yards.
He definitely has those kind of skills. I mean, his timing is impeccable. He throws an accurate football. The only time he's been inaccurate, he's got pressure in his face and he's running away from it. But when it's rhythm passing, he's been right on.
Smart young man, 3.5 grade point average in business administration from Yorktown, Indiana. Not too far from Ball State. Turns here, hit as he throws, but completes it to Justin Hall. His nuance game is very comfortable. He's got all those little attributes you need. First down there at the 45.
Drifting away, Hall working his way across the field. Here's a 6'6" athletic quarterback throwing off his back foot, drifting away from the throw.
Speaking of athletes, guy at the bottom of the screen, Johannes Tyler. He's the big play guy from the second half last week in their win. Flag down right at the line of scrimmage as the run for Gilman with the tackle on the run by Malik Dunner. Gained only 2. There's Johannes Tyler, freshman, came in.
2 catches, 2 touchdowns. How you like to start your career that way? There he goes. The kid's got 2 catches.
Legal formation, offense, 5 players in the backfield. Penalties decline. 2nd down.
Now, either he's a big play guy, or he just won't catch the ball unless he's going to score.
Well, it happened in the second half. Here's that illegal formation. So the receiver off the line at the top.
He needs to be up on the line of scrimmage up top.
That was in the opposite direction, having one of those receivers covered. One of the reasons Notre Dame lost a touchdown last week in the game against Michigan. So on 2nd down, here is Neal throwing, intercepted. Number 2 for Jalen Elliott. Out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Drew Tranquill brought the pressure, and Jalen Elliott, from no interceptions in his career to 2 in this game. Pressure from the linebacker. Tranquill forced it out high, and the junior Elliott comes up with the Notre Dame interception. Let's go back to the interception.
Yeah, we got a crossing route, and Jalen Elliott, playing center field, sees it coming and just jumps it. Now, if he's running the post route behind him, he's in trouble, but he felt the crosser, saw the quarterback's eyes. Quarterback gets hit by Drew Tranquill, and Neal ends up throwing an interception. Great job of reading the route recognition.
One of the big stories for Notre Dame was safety play had to improve. They did not create turnovers at all last year. There's 2 with Elliott here today. Here's Wimbush picking through the traffic, gains 9 on a 1st down run into the boundary. Ray Wilborn made the tackle for Ball State.
All right, now that's the first called quarterback run of the game, and it's time to get serious. I think Notre Dame offensively saying, you know what, Brandon, use your legs. Let's go get them. Let's be aggressive now and do what you do best.
Chip Long, offensive coordinator, year 2. Wimbush rolls it right, looks for a crosser. It's Miles Boykin, complete to the 30. 1st down for Notre Dame, and the pickup is 17.
Boykin just running the crosser off a naked bootleg. He comes wide open, but what made the throw was Brandon Wimbush being on the move and sidearming it to him to get it in there.
1st down throw, end zone look, nothing there. Comes back down, Boykin again. The star of the bowl game, gains 14 and moves the chains one more time, Doug.
You know, you call a run play for Wimbush, and all of a sudden he gets into the flow of the game, and he's feeling comfortable. He hung in the pocket, waited things out, and found his receiver.
Gains of 17 and 14 to the senior from Illinois. And now the run with Tony Jones Jr. It's twisted down after a gain of 2. Chris Crum, nose tackle for Ball State out of Lewis Center, Ohio. You always see with very common trait of nose guards, guy who was a wrestler in his high school days. Right over at the captain, Sam Mustafa, the Notre Dame center. 2nd and 8. Mack coming with Wimbush. He looks towards the end zone. Chris Fink got it at the 2. 1st and goal, Notre Dame.
This time another action where he's on the move, so Chris Fink is running the crosser and sitting it down a little bit. A nice throw in tight quarters.
They love to go quick down here. Tony Jones Jr. in the end zone for the 2nd time. And the Irish score on their opening 3rd quarter drive.
Started moving the pocket a little bit, doing some things that Brandon Wimbush is very comfortable doing. Let him be a little bit of an athlete, and it's right down the field and walk it down the field.
Jones scored on a 31-yarder in the 2nd quarter. 3 touchdowns last year, 2 today. And Justin Yoon adds his 3rd extra point of this afternoon. Ankle injury slowed him down a couple times last year. Tony Jones Jr. running healthy, running hard, running into the end zone for the Irish, who extend the lead to 50, 21-6. Notre Dame. A legendary hospital with a revolutionary doctor. He will break the rules to heal the system. Looking forward to this new show. New Amsterdam, a couple of weeks away from its debut. Tuesdays this fall, starting September 25th on NBC. Second time, a Ball State interception is turned into a Notre Dame touchdown on a Tony Jones run. 21-6 Irish, and Jonathan Dorr set to kick it off. Not going to make a mistake multiple times in the game. All the way back to the league Dunner. He'll take a knee. Top performance is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. So go 30 years back, celebrating the '88 title. Week 1 was a win against Michigan. Week 2 was Michigan State. Tight game with the Spartans. East Lansing and Tony Rice. The gain of 3 there. Stud still playing in a safety spot. He was a starter a couple of years ago. Jalen Elliott, Loie Gilman, safety play for Notre Dame. It's been good so far in the first game and a half. James Gilbert will run. Heinisch, he's up front there with Jerry Tillery to stop it and force third down.
Talk about safety play. The combination of Elliott and Gilman is what has worked. You know, Elliott's kind of the communicator back there, getting guys lined up, corrected a lot of things last week, and Gilman's just made plays. But they work well together.
And today, Elliott's been a chance to not only be the communicator, but the playmaker. 2 interceptions. 3rd and 7. Twisting rush. Flushes Neal. Throws to the sideline, incomplete. And a 3-and-out from the Notre Dame defense on the back end of a touchdown. Coverage over there with Julian Love on the sideline.
Where Dalen Hayes got a nice little pressure and squeezed them out of the pocket. And then great coverage downfield. You know, if it's not a rhythm throw, the pressure is going to get there.
That's a good front. Hunting into the wind is Nathan Snyder, Marysville, Ohio, the hometown of the sophomore. Chris Fink back for the Irish. Good kick. 47 yards. Fink has it at the 25. Gonna bring it back a little bit more than the 6 where the first contact came. Down at the 34-yard line. Stopped there. Above the Rest is brought to you by Jersey Mike's Subs. Doug, let's go back to the last drive.
Well, Brandon Wimbush got his legs involved, had a quarterback run. Then they moved the pocket a little bit, so he's being an athlete and sees things cleanly. Now he's comfortable, so stand in the pocket, throw the ball. The whole drive was in his hands, again, moving out of the pocket, and then eventually you finish it off. I mean, there were 2 nice, tight throws on the move, and he put it right on the money because he got comfortable. He got into his element, moving his legs.
This drive starts at the 34. Better protection this time to throw it downfield, and Boykin on a run here. 3 catches in this second half. All for first downs. Lamar Anderson the stop there.
He's in a groove now. He's comfortable. He's seeing, I think, Boykin on just another deep crosser. It's the play action fakes or holding the underneath cover, whether it's bootleg action or true play action.
26 on that one. Off his hands this time, an interception. Intercepted. Boykin couldn't hang on. Antonio Phillips, the sophomore from St. Louis, comes up with the pick.
Jalen Thomas at linebacker tipped that ball, redirected it, becomes incomplete up in the air, and then intercepted. Little tip, double tip.
So it hit Boykin in the hands, but it was tough to catch because of the tip. And it's a pick for Phillips. So their flight disappeared 5 years ago. Today it landed, and they haven't aged a day. Executive producer Robert Zemecki's Manifest is the show. It's Mondays this fall on NBC. Doug, that is the show you are really excited about.
How does that happen? How do you not age? I'm going to go do that.
Or you tune into Manifest on Mondays this fall.
Stay young.
Perhaps you can guest star on the show. Not aged for 5 years. Caleb Huntley with the carry. Tavon Coney the tackle. There's no gain there. It'll be second down for Ball State. 21-6.
Going back to the last interception. Really not Brandon Wimbush's fault, not Boykin's fault. Great play defensively for Thomas, the linebacker, tipping the ball and creating a deflection.
Caleb Huntley. So third, about 5. Let's go back to that interception one more time.
He's running a slant. It's play action. There's a big window. And all of a sudden the ball got redirected at the linebacker level. It was deflected. Snuck up on him and off his hands and up in the air. Not Boykin's fault.
interception number 1 for Antonio Phillips. You saw Notre Dame has taken those turnovers by Ball State and turned them into 14 points. Ball State trying to get a drive going here off the Irish turnover, 3rd and 5. Great job by David Hayes, jumped the blocker. Neal is flushed, he's pressured. Sideline, a lot of bodies over there, and the pass is incomplete. This Notre Dame pass rush has kept Neal off the spot all game.
Yeah, he drifts a little on a lot of his throws. He drifted towards Julian Acquar because he felt the pressure from the backside. You know, it's going to get you in trouble with your offensive tackle sometimes. If you start drifting in the pocket too soon, they don't even have to beat the tackle to feel like it's pressure.
What should he do? Should he step up there?
There, you got to stay centered and step up a little bit, but he obviously didn't think he had a quick throw. So he started drifting early.
So sometimes you can't make the quick throw because it's not there as part of the route that's being run.
So you got to go through the progression and try to deliver from the pocket when possible.
Snyder, busy here, kicks again. Chris Fink says get away, and I'll take it on the bounce. Kicked at 42, returned at 2. And Notre Dame will take over after the Malik Dunner tackle. Well, we showed you Mike New a few times. Was a Ball State quarterback, MAC Player of the Year, and their head coach. Well, his jersey showed up in practice for a very interesting reason. Josh Miller is the player wearing Mike New's old jersey. So they're just kind of jawing around during preseason, and he said, Coach New, you know, can you get back to your playing weight? Can you get back in shape? Mike New said he was on the recruiting road. A few too many meals after seeing folks, so it was a bet. Can I get back to that playing weight? And if so, you wear my old jersey in practice. Boykin with the catch to the 43-yard line. First down for Miles Boykin. And Mike New won the bet. He lost the weight, just kept it off. Josh Miller had to wear his coach's old jersey in practice at Ball State.
It's a bet you don't mind losing.
It's right.
It's a positive thing.
Miller's an incredible story in his own right. This behind the line scrimmage tackle for Sean Hammonds Jr. He got Jafar Armstrong right away. Not much on that play. Number 3, Josh Miller, is their iron cardinal. He's one of the best weight guys on this team in terms of strength and conditioning.
Hammonds just beating Mustapher across his face as Mustapher was pulling right to left, just too quick into the backfield.
Blitz. Wimbush looking for space, won't get it. And it will be 3rd and long after the sack from the nose tackle, Chris Crum.
Ball State defense is scrappy. 2 negative plays in a row, getting into the backfield, blow up a run, and now on the pass rush.
The pressure a little bit what Chris talked about at halftime. Chris Sims with Liam during halftime. That bare front, cover the center and the guards.
Exactly. You cover both center and guards, creates a lot of one-on-one matchups, and you bring the linebacker around. There's a procedure on the right tackle.
False start. Number 72. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So 3rd and 27 coming up for Notre Dame.
Your call, Coach.
Screen.
Screen. 15 yards passing, and we'll punt the ball away. I'll tell you, with a guy like Boykin, you might just put one up.
Each team has turned it over twice in the game. Each team only 2 penalties that have been accepted. Have to get all the way to the Ball State 33. Wimbush looks for that space to take off. He couldn't keep his balance, and he goes down. So he'll lose 3, and the Ball State defense does its job.
He really didn't have anything right away. It was soft zone and people bailing out, so he wanted to buy some time to move around. Gets tripped up actually on his own man, moving around, and goes to the ground. I'm sure Brandon thought he was going to stay up there and try to find something down the field.
Tyler Newsome's 4th punt of this game. Corey Lacanaria awaits. 41 yards, fair catch. He's got it up to 22. 5:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. Brian Kelly getting his offensive line a little bit of a message. Got to protect the quarterback a bit better here today. "16 drivers, 10 weeks, 1 epic race of the championship. Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoffs get underway in Las Vegas next Sunday, 3 Eastern Time on NBCSN. Last chance to get in the playoffs for someone as NASCAR races the Brickyard 400 Indianapolis Motor Speedway tomorrow. By the way, the start time of that has been moved up to 1 Eastern time on NBCSN. And then the playoffs begin. This is almost intercepted by Kareem. The defensive player of the week nationally, Khalid Kareem, almost had the deflection, the interception, and even the touchdown.
What a play, because if he doesn't make this play, the screen was happening down the boundary. They had a big play offensively. Gets up high, deflects it. As a quarterback, you got to find a way to get that ball to the receiver. Great defensive play.
2nd and 10. Riley Neal gives James Gilbert, who's had a better bit of success on the edge. Once again, 4 and 23. Coney and Tranquil, those linebackers, in on the tackle. They didn't leave the field at all against Michigan. They've pretty much been out there every snap today against Ball State.
On a day that they thought maybe they'd get a break and get some young guys into the game. This has been a game already for 3 quarters, and they're all still out there fighting their tails off.
Not many 3rd down conversions either way today. Neal won't get one there. Julian Love covering Riley Miller. It was a factor early in the game. Quiet 6.
Julian Love learned his lesson early in the game that they're still running these hitch routes even out of press. So you stay on the backside shoulder and stay under it. Yeah, there's a little hand fighting going on, but great job of staying under the route now. And you're forcing the offense to do a double move or take off deep on you.
Quarterback conversation. Quarterbacks, a couple of decades removed at Ball State. Busy Nathan Snyder. Think again the one-hop collection and goes down at the 37-yard line. And those of you who may have watched the upset at the U.S. Open, Naomi Osaka beating Serena Williams. If you're just tuning in, spinning around the dial, Notre Dame's been a little lethargic. Tony Jones Jr., 2 touchdown runs. Jalen Elliott finally getting the safeties in the turnover column. First career game with 2 picks. Brandon Wimbush right around 50% with his completions again. This has not been as sharp a day, even though the passing yardage number is better. That's been the case for the entire Notre Dame offense. They lead Ball State 21-6. As that first down run goes nowhere for Jafar Armstrong. Jalen Thomas has been busy and good today.
Thomas is reading things quickly and penetrating. You know, the defensive line is eating up blocks, and he's coming through free and scraping off the edge between the guard tackle gap or on the edge.
Thomas shaken up after that play, heads to the sideline. Wimbush trying to get to Alize Mack, didn't have a lane to throw it. It'll be 3rd down. Brian Kelly told Catherine at halftime they thought the offense was a little bit lethargic. Wasn't happy with the way the energy came out with the team, not crisp or sharp. And this is sometimes an expected thing after a big week like last week against Michigan. Doesn't mean it's any good. Just this would have been one of the options for what would happen here today. Wimbush throwing middle. It is caught by his big tight end. Alize Mack, first down to the 44-yard line.
Bringing a blitz, putting pressure on him. He hangs in there and delivers this early. He threw it now. Right around the defender. Mack coming around to the inside. Great anticipation by Brandon Wimbush.
Low throw. Boykin scooped it. Boykin down the sideline. Inside the 25-yard line. It'll be another first down.
Again, even on a wide receiver screen, he's getting pressure in his face and falling away. Nice little catch by Boykin, scraping it off the ground.
Ball State's Shannon Hall is shaken up, and he's down at the 30-yard line. And their athletic training staff out to look at the junior from Indianapolis.
On that big completion, Ball State was bringing a safety blitz with Anderson, and the pocket was getting pushed back at Wimbush. He really didn't look comfortable with his feet, but he hung in there and really anticipated that throw around the linebacker level.
So I think they're going to look at this last reception in replay. Ball's been marked at the 25, and the replay official buzzed down to go check this out in replay. As Boykin tried to pick it up on a low throw by Wimbush. All right, Terry McCauley, let's take a peek.
All right, let's see if he gains control before the ball touches the ground. If it does, it looks like he does. We're all good.
Pretty simple. Ball was tipped a little bit too.
And even if after gaining possession the ball touches the ground, it would be a catch?
It would be.
Yeah, you see that second look might indicate a little bit more closely if it did in fact touch.
It looks like it does touch.
Yep.
I think so. I think you're right, Mike. But he had control first. Ball doesn't lose control after it touches. It's a clean catch.
And Boykins had a very big half. All 5 receptions here, 99 yards.
After review, ruling on the field is confirmed. Catch.
Thank you, Terry. Boykin, we mentioned, was the star of the Citrus Bowl game. That tremendous grab down the sideline, the 55-yard game-winning touchdown. Had a big catch earlier in that game, was the MVP. And Doug, even though he wasn't a big reception man last year, a lot was expected off of that. And he carried that through spring ball and fall camp, becoming one of the leaders in that receiving room. And from the 25, Wimbush escapes a would-be sack and won't get away from anything else. Loss of 4 as he's tied down. Jeremiah Jackson, who came in the game because of the injury to Jalen Thomas, makes that play. 4th sack of Wimbush today.
He's in the open field. He feels like he can get away and stay alive. Actually, late, Alizé Mack finally slid open, but he had nothing early. So he was just trying in buying time mode, hoping somebody could work themselves open.
2nd and 14 now, as Wimbush's throw is low and incomplete for Chase Claypool on that far side. So I think the thinking for Notre Dame was, if this game became one where they could get out to a lead early on, and again, they were a big favorite going in, that they would try to get Ian Book a few series in this game and go see Phil Dracovic, the freshman quarterback. But it has been tight. Wimbush is getting throwing opportunities. It's a designed run, and he is brought down. Ray Wilborn, a junior college transfer from Lansing, Michigan, makes that play, sets up 4th down. A field goal attempt coming up here.
What an athletic play off the edge to tackle Wimbush. I mean, that you know, they talk about Wilburn defensively, David Allison, defense coordinator, saying the sky's the limit with this kid. He's a tremendous athlete. He's still cutting his teeth, still learning. But boy, what an athleticism.
Justin Yoon missed from 43 yards earlier. Going to try to pop one here from 46 yards. Off that right hash again, gets this one to turn in. And plenty of distance for the senior, Justin Yoon. So Notre Dame takes a 24-6 lead. That's 6 points on the day for Justin Yoon as he slides up the all-time Notre Dame career scoring list. There he is at 287, 1 away from Kyle Brinson, the man he followed here at Notre Dame, and with a very great chance at getting Alan Pinkett's all-time leading record. He passed Autry Denson, who you just saw there on the sideline. So he's a 3rd amongst the kickers. Kyle Brinson tweeting out today, good feeling Justin Yoon will take the number 3 spot on that career points list this weekend. Oh, sorry, Kyle. The emoji let us know that you were afraid it was going to happen. And you were right about it.
Playfully. Do kickers really count? I mean, really,
they do.
Points? Seriously?
They count when it's game-winning field goal,
I hear
right?
you. I know.
Come on.
Alan Pinkett earned, man. Alan
Autry
Pinkett
Denson.
and Audrey Denson putting their shoulder in the linebackers and driving into end zones.
Kick to the 5. Malik Dunner will take this one back, and Jonathan Dorer's kick will be brought back out to the 21-yard line. Well, as the QBs are, one's coming out, one's on the phone, one's comparing. Quarterback comparison brought to you by Volkswagen. Riley Neal, low completion percentage.
They came out firing, and then Notre Dame tightened up the coverage. Really didn't give him any easy access throws. They're challenging everything out there, and it's become more difficult. In order to hit a play now, I think he's going to have to go over the top.
Wimbush 15 of 27. Those are good-looking numbers for him with 272 yards. Malik Dunner's the back, chased by Kareem sent to the sideline by Jalen Elliott, but it's a first down run by Dunner. Home run hitter with some edge speed. And they had to dip deep into the running back core because of all those injuries last year. Now that they're healthy, they've got 3 of them. The receivers have got playing time, got more of those. 9 starters back on this Ball State offense from last year. Still a very young team. Justin Hall, a couple of Notre Dame players knock each other out of the way. And Hall gets across midfield for the first down as you look at the scores from the top 25 on Saturday, 2 of the season.
Miami did not look good last week.
They struggled. Rough start for the teams from the state of Florida. Notre Dame will see the Pittsburgh Panthers in here in mid-October after the trip to Virginia Tech. Dunner runs for 2. We'll talk about Ball State and the youth on this team. Players who had to play at a very early age, sometimes medical red shirts because of all those injuries. Only Lovie Smith and the Fighting Illini of Illinois have fewer seniors on their roster, one of these FBS schools. Trying to build something with Mike New and Muncie. Dunner just inside the 40, very close to the first down that waits at the 39-yard line.
Seems to be finding a little something right now with the little run game on the perimeter and then the little dump head. They really like that play action, dump it to the back on the swing, kind of at an awkward angle, but have made some plays on it.
Final seconds, third quarter, third and very short, and they'll pick up the first down with James Gilbert running to the right, and that should terminate the quarter. All 10 points in this third quarter scored by Notre Dame, and the Irish are 15 minutes away from a 2-0 start. Through 3 in South Bend, Notre Dame 24, Ball State 6, and we're back to Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC, presented by Gillette. Our score by quarters brought to you by Gillette. Notre Dame a touchdown in each frame, added an extra field goal here in the third. Ball State shut out since halftime, and Brian Kelly's team leading 24-6 as we start the fourth quarter. The Cardinals are here today. Ball State. In a couple of weeks, the Cardinal will be here. Stanford comes to Notre Dame Stadium to wrap up a very busy South Bend September. Michigan, Vanderbilt, this Ball State game, and Stanford all in the opening month of the season. Malik Dunner runs to the right, tackled out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Be a pickup of 4. Notre Dame's only road game this month will be a trip to Wake Forest in 2 weeks. And the road will get tougher. A game in Blacksburg against Virginia Tech. Out to San Diego. Actually go out to Southern California twice in the back half of the season. Play Navy in San Diego. Play at USC. The screen set up, and there goes James Gilbert. Loie Gilman lowers the shoulder, but Gilbert was never down. He was laying on top of bodies. Crawls the extra yard. That moves the chains. First down, Ball State. The entirety of the schedule. And that Syracuse game, the Shamrock Series game at Yankee Stadium. First and 10 for Ball State. Gilbert to the right. Another tackle for Coney. He has about a dozen tackles on this game. Tavon Coney. Not only is he on the field all the time, he's in the middle of every play. What a terrific performer he is, Doug.
We were talking with Drew Tranquil about the fact that they had to play both guys all game long, and their motor keeps going. Tavon holding on and bringing down another tackle, but he and Drew Tranquil got a little tired towards the end of the Michigan game.
Caleb Huntley now the back as Riley Neal fires back shoulder. Did he possess it out of bounds? Let's see. That was being juggled. They call it a catch live for Riley Miller. Gain of 16 if it stands.
He may have trapped this between his knees on the way to the ground. He's still juggling.
And they're going to take a peek at it.
Yeah, that's
Ruling on the field was catch and bounds. Previous play is under review.
He doesn't gain control until he's on the ground. 5 yards out of bounds.
It's a heck of a play.
Great spot for the throw. Put it in there. He had it for a second. Troy Pride.
Yeah, I was
Gets an arm in there and ripping at it.
Before we bring in Terry McCauley to talk about the catch, no catch, look at the job done by Troy Pride, the corner. He kept battling at it to try to keep it loose. And we'll bring Terry in. What do you see there?
So for this to be a catch, he would have had to control the ball, get 1 foot down, and have time to perform an ACCOM into the game. He starts to juggle it, just as you said, before he performs that ACCOM into the game. Now he's out of bounds. It's an incomplete pass.
Miller's with that size, the guy was used for the back shoulder. There you go again, guys.
I mean, he did catch the ball, stop the ball, but the hand was in there and ripping at it, so it was never secured with the movement. Troy Pride has his hand in there right away, making him juggle it. Not until he's out of bounds.
Watching the officials run the ball back to the line of scrimmage there, so it's a little bit of an indication that this will be overturned via replay.
But that's what Ball State has to do, I believe, is go up the field with the ball now, because the defensive backs are playing underneath for that back shoulder throw, for the hitches.
If you weren't with us in the first half, both guys named Riley, Neal and Miller, both went to the same high school, Yorktown, Indiana. Miller originally was a walk-on, earned a scholarship.
Ruling is incomplete pass. Ball be put back at the previous spot, which would be the 20-yard line, right hash, be third down. The clock will start on the snap.
So third down coming up.
13:43. 38.
You know, the two of them have great rhythm together and timing and a rapport there, because
The back shoulder
stuff, the hitch routes, the timing on routes, you can tell they've played together a long time.
We asked Riley Neal, all right, you went to the same high school with Riley Miller. Do you have any other Rileys there? Said, yeah, a guy named Riley Martin doesn't play football, but he goes to Ball State. Go figure.
The name's Riley, you go to Ball State.
Graduating class like 200 guys. So it'll set up 3rd and 4 in this 18-point Irish lead.
I would shoot for a double move. If you're off, Notre Dame is jumping routes quickly. You got to have like a little hitch and go, slant and go, or just a blatant pick roll.
Delay was getting the game clock reset. It is. They're going to run it down here and try to get the 4, and they'll only get 3 of them with Caleb Huntley. Now let's see if they'll get the field goal and make it a 15-point game, or go for the first down and try to keep the drive alive since it's 4th quarter.
Well, since they ran it on 3rd and 4, absolutely. They thought they had 2 plays to get this first down, so they were going for it all the way.
With a quick snap, and second effort's going to get there. And extra leg day work by Caleb Huntley pays off there. Turned his back, kept those legs moving, keeps the chains moving.
Huntley, 225 pounds. He's their physical back for sure, and he drives. He gets low, gets a little help from his friend Skrank. Kyle Skrank, 81, gets a little push in there and helped him make the first down.
It's 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Gilbert got away from Coney. And on the edge, Troy Pride tackles him just inside the 10-yard line. This is a school that got this replay first up.
Well, might have been a little hold here on Kareem, but then he sheds the tackle by Coney. He gets to the outside. You know, it was a lateral. You're running sideways. 2 chances to get him in the backfield. He fights through it.
Yeah, this is a school that had lost 9 straight games before the win over Central Connecticut. Get a score, keep it close here. They feel so good about this. Touchdown! Nolan Given, the tight end. Yeah, the first touchdown catch of the year in that Central Connecticut win last week. He's got his second in as many games, and Ball State stays in this game in the fourth quarter.
Now they fake the hitch screen, and Gilman settles his feet, comes north and south up towards there. Given's gone. You know, the little hesitation. You had to do a double move. You had to do something a little deceptive because Notre Dame has been reacting up on the first move all day long.
Well, we mentioned the time spent with Drew Brees and Sean Payton in New Orleans for Mike New, the head coach, and a lot of personnel groups, deception, plays that look the same but are different. Those are the things that is a hallmark of what's made the Saints offense so good. Ball State benefiting from some of that. Play call there. It's an 11-point game. But that's for Nolan Given. Remember that forever, the sophomore from Berkeley, Michigan. Touchdown in Notre Dame Stadium. A touchdown that put his team back in the game, too. Fourth quarter tradition here. T12 overture plays. Students in unison move their arms. So many traditions, historical moments on this campus around football weekends. Those familiar sights. A lot of the Ball State fans telling us they wanted to come here, see a game here for the first time. As a matter of fact, some of the players talking about being here as kids and coming to Notre Dame football games, driving up from southern Indiana. Patrick McCoy set to kick off for the Cardinals. Sebo Flemister didn't handle that cleanly, so he'll take a knee in the end zone, and the Irish will get it out. And we get it to Liam McHugh for a game break. Liam.
Mike, thanks. Nebraska and Colorado in a good one. Steven Montez to Jay McIntyre. He walks in. Scott Frost, who's back in Nebraska, seems less than thrilled with his defense. It's a 1-point game in the fourth.
Remember, Liam, they did not have a first game because of weather in Lincoln last week. Adrian Martinez, their freshman quarterback who won the job, over 100 yards rushing and passing thus far. But a tight one with those old Big 8 rivals. Notre Dame's offense going to have to get some first downs and keep the ball moving here to close this game out. Jafar Armstrong gets the carry to the 29-yard line.
I really thought going into this game that Notre Dame, when they decided to, would be able to just hammer the football. And it hasn't happened. It's been a little sporadic. You know, there have been big gashes, but not on a consistent basis.
Again, keeping that inside covered and not giving Notre Dame running lanes. Doug, is it the 3-4 defense? Is it the different looks up front? Why are they having such a hard time blocking Ball State?
Different looks up front, and like Chris Sims said at halftime, a little bear front where you cover the guards and the nose and allow your linebackers to run freely. There's 4 linebackers, athletes hitting gaps and penetrating, and they're slanting and moving.
And Jalen Thomas and Jacob White have been the guys doing that. So it's 3rd and 7. Wimbush throws in the middle, and it's caught with a flag down. Boykin has the first down. If it stands, the 48-yard line will be a pickup of 20.
Yeah, there was a little contact early. Great catch.
Pass interference. Defense, number 10. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
But it was a 5-man rush. It was pressure pushing the pocket. And Wimbush stepped up through and delivered a ball that Boykin could handle. It should have been a little easier, but he got bumped early and still made a great catch reaching back.
Pass interference against defense number 10. Penalties be declined. First down.
It's 6 for Boykin, all in this half for 119 yards. So one of the top days of his Notre Dame career here this afternoon. Wimbush getting close to 300 passing yards in this game as Tony Jones Jr. gets walloped as he enters Ball State territory at the 48-yard line.
If you're a Notre Dame fan right now, you would like to see this offensive line take control of this game and be able to run the football.
Side give with Jones.
Again, creating a 3rd down situation. It has that feeling like the Notre Dame offensive line is going to wear down the Ball State defense. But Ball State keeps penetrating and not making it easy. Just
and look at that number, 3rd down conversions. It's 3 of 11 for the Irish. Crowd the front. Jones tries to bang his way through, and he does. Mark the 42 will move the chains, and we'll go inside of 10 minutes. Again, the Notre Dame running back story. Jones asking out here. Jafar Armstrong. See a little bit of Avery Davis. No Dexter Williams again, dressed but not playing for the second straight game. Widely reported the senior suspended for the first 4 games, the first third of the season. Brian Kelly couldn't comment on that report of the 4-game suspension. Did say Williams didn't meet the expectations of the University football program. We won't see him again here today. Alize Mack with the catch. Ray Wilborn the tackle at the 37-yard line. Wimbush scrapes himself off the deck as he goes over 300 passing yards here. Or maybe right to it. 297. Gain of 5 on that one. He'll keep it. Kept the throw alive to Fink. Nothing is open. And he'll lose a yard or 2.
I like the way you think. I mean, it was one of the options. I saw this play in practice the other day where he's doing a zone read, pulls the ball. Now he's on the perimeter. He still has the option to throw it out there to Fink. Little indecisive at first. There was nothing there to be had.
Doug, Ball State's got some quickness to defense. Their personnel fits a 3-4. I think they'll be okay in the MAC if they stay healthy.
Definitely. You know, being healthy is a big deal, especially at your quarterback position. Last year, so many injuries.
3rd and 6. Again, Wimbush is flushed. He got away, and he threw an interception. Ray Wilborn, the outside linebacker, dropping back, comes up with a pick. 11-point game, 8:39 to go. Ball State very much in this one now. Wimbush picked for the 3rd time today. And the outside backers got one. Third interception of the game for Brandon Wimbush of Notre Dame.
And this one, he's out of the pocket and on the move where he usually makes decent decisions. There's Ray Wilborn. He's going to be the flat defender covering the short pass. Off of the movement, he thinks he has the comeback deep behind it. Wilborn sloughs off, gets underneath it. You have to miss that throw high and away to the outside. Either your guy gets it or no one gets it. A little bit underthrown. Wilborn jumps up and catches.
All right, so 8:39 left. Chance for Riley Neal and Ball State. They'll start by getting it to one of their playmakers. Justin Hall leaping over the would-be Jalen Elliott, tackle out of bounds near the 40. You don't like that, do you?
We've seen that move on film from last week. He had a clean hurdle last week. He just likes to. How athletic are these kids? I don't know that I would recommend this. It's impressive.
Still a gain of 9 and a first down picked up here. On the run with James Gilbert. By the way, after that Wimbush interception, Ian Book, the backup quarterback, started warming up for the Irish. Has his helmet on. He's on the sideline throwing. So we'll see if we see Book, if the Irish get the ball back. He's been in for one play, handed off. It was a touchdown. But the priority here is Riley Neal and Ball State. 42. Again, quickly to Hall. Notre Dame's defense. 5 shirts over there. Troy Pride Jr. on the corner made the tackle. Doug, do they need to take a shot down the field here a little bit?
I think it's going to have to be a shot type play because Notre Dame's defense has been coming so tightly. They react up. You know, the touchdown pass came on a pump fake move. So it's going to have to be a shot down the field to make the big play because I don't think you can consistently convert third mediums in tight coverage.
Notre Dame freshman Houston Griffith playing the nickel at the moment. He's checked in. It's 2nd and 9 for Ball State. Neal's pass, tight coverage, incomplete. Try to get it to Riley Miller, I should say. And Julian Love had the coverage.
That's exactly the play we saw earlier. Julian Love learned his lesson early and says, the heck with it. I'm sitting on the underneath shoulder, and I'm staying all over this. Take off on me, and I'll catch you if you run deep. But I'm not giving you the easy one short.
3rd and 9. Receiving options to his right, and the pass complete. Corey Lockenera to the Notre Dame 40-yard line. 1st down. Drew Tranquil the tackle. Gain of 18.
Houston Griffith, freshman, falls to the ground on the break. Good anticipation on the throw. Big conversion.
So Ball State on the move. 7 minutes left. Down 11. Handing to Caleb Huntley. Just past the original line of scrimmage. Micah Treadway joins Jonathan Bonner on the tackle.
Did I say Griffin or Griffith?
Griffith.
I said it correctly. Okay, never mind.
6.5 to go. Ball State, they got to score a drive. Really put the pressure on the Irish. Huntley again is tied up. Khalid Kareem continues that good play from last week. It's going to be 3rd and long again.
He's all over it. He was all over it last week again. He reads this well, steps down, closes in. I'll tell you, Riley Neal wants to get a block. He wants to stick his head in there and try to help his buddy out. Kareem making another big play defensively, setting up 3rd and long.
Quarterback is 17 of 40. Needs a downfield shot here. Neal looking, throws, nearly intercepted by Griffith. Freshman almost had his first collegiate interception. 4-down territory, so they'll be going for it.
Lacanaria decides he's going to pivot out of this. Neal throws the curl route, and it goes right at Griffith. The freshman almost comes up with his first interception. What are you doing to me? I'm trying to get open.
Yeah, that sharp pivot, slipped out of it a little bit. Lacanaria and Hall, 2 receivers to the bottom. Timeout taken by Ball State.
Ball State, first timeout of the second half.
You want to get this one right, but you also want to
1
hang on to
minute
these
timeout.
timeouts. You have generational quarterback lineage to the position here. We're talking about Neal, who grew up not too far from Muncie. Joey Lynch, the offensive coordinator. His dad, Bill, was a head coach. He grew up around the program. Mike New was the quarterback we talked about, getting the play calling back in his hands this year. There is a history and a tradition to this program. They had success a decade ago. Trying to dig back out. And Doug, I don't care what happens in the last 6 minutes of this one. I think they're going to go to Bloomington and play Indiana next week with a different kind of confidence and belief, and take that into their season in the Mid-America Conference.
No doubt about it. Coming off last year, losing 9 in a row, they had a confidence builder in their opener. Step into this game, don't know what to expect of themselves except to go out and compete, and they're slugging it out in the 4th quarter.
And so, Notre Dame has been sluggish and lethargic, but that doesn't matter to Ball State.
But Ball State can create that with their aggressiveness on defense, their ability to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands and do some things. So, yeah, maybe Notre Dame hasn't played their best game, but give Ball State credit.
Going for their 4th down conversion of the game. Need to get to the 29. Riley Neal gonna do it with the catch for the 1st down. His favorite target, Riley Miller, moves the chains. 5:46 to go.
Boy, that took a while to happen. He stands in the pocket, stands firm, and wait for this to come open. Throwing over pressure. That's impressive.
From the 28, James Gilbert. That running game inside's not going anywhere. Notre Dame's defensive front. The guys filling from the back end like Bilal with the tackle there.
The strength of this defense has been the defensive line the first 2 weeks.
Yes, you're right.
I mean, they were amazing a week ago. Today, still getting pressure and getting into the backfield. You know, you're at a point now, if you're Ball State, to start speeding things up a little more and get it moving.
And they get a chance to tie this game with a touchdown, a field goal, and 2-point conversion. Pressure from Kareem, throw back his way. Malik Dunner didn't catch it. Would have had a chance to gain some yardage.
They're doing a great job with their screen game. They've run 3. They've only completed 1 of them, but all 3 were potential big plays. Were really set up well.
Doug, here's where Notre Dame has been effective. These 3rd down situations, getting pressure up front. They take 9. Dalen Hayes, usually a defensive end, move him inside. Okwara and Kareem come off the other edges. Tillery disrupts in the middle. They play some games in there. Let's see if they can get pressure on the quarterback.
There's 9 in a stand-up.
3rd and 11. Protected is Neal, and the pass is incomplete. Gilman came buzzing across towards Riley Miller. Didn't convert, and they'll have to pick up a note. They're going to go for the field goal here. You're going to need a touchdown at some point down this way, but you also need a field goal. So they'll put their pressure on their kicker to try to make a 45-yarder.
Notre Dame went with like a 3-down look, but one of the stand-up guys was Dalen Hayes, a defensive end, and he was moving around and become the 4th rusher from a stand-up position.
Officially 46 are Morgan Hagee. Big make to make it a 1-possession game. It is leaking left and no good. Had to have it. 46-yard kick. Hagee couldn't make it. All right, in golf, the FedEx Cup playoffs going on right before us here on NBC, and you'll see it tomorrow starting 11 a.m. Eastern on Golf Channel, 2 Eastern on NBC. Tiger Woods ended up shooting 66 today. He's tied for 11th, 5 behind Justin Rose, who shot 64. Rose and McIlroy, who we'll see at the end of the month in the Ryder Cup on NBC. They're right up there. There's Andrew Schauffele trying to make a late push for Captain Jim Furyk's team. You'll see it wrap up tomorrow here on NBC. Not much room for Tony Jones. Jacob White, the tackle, Ball State.
Timeout.
For second down, we have an injured Notre Dame player. On that one, Cole Kmet, the tight end, was over there, and he got rolled up on. Look at his right leg, and we'll step out for a second. A really bad injury, Cole Kmet, tight end. A lot of big things expected from the sophomore, and that right leg rolled up on the blocking and tackling on that run play. We need to see the replay. It was a pretty ugly looking replay. They're looking at him in the medical tent. I hope that the outcome is better than the way it looked. In any case, a significant injury for Notre Dame. 2nd and 10, and a 2-yard run for Tony Jones Jr. Take it to the 30-yard line. 4.5 left. Ball State 2 timeouts, down 11.
This is a situation in your 4-minute offense trying to eat up some clock and want to run the ball. And Notre Dame, if they're a championship contending team, believes they should be able to take this ball and run it down your throat and run this clock out, and it's not happening.
Well, they should have been able to do that earlier on. They have not played well for a variety of reasons. Ball State's part of that. They've been lethargic. 3rd and 8. Wimbush has been intercepted 3 times. Throws deep middle here and almost picked for a 4th time. Bryce Cosby was back there to help break it up, and it's 3 and out. Ball State's defense gets the Irish off the field inside of 4 minutes left.
I mean, he's had a 300-yard day, but he's thrown 4 of these jump balls where a safety could have easily come down with it. Only 1 was picked out of those. Not his best day.
Tyler Newsome will kick it one more time. His 5th punt of the afternoon, now early evening. Had to get away quick because of the pressure, and that's going to be in less than a 30-yard kick and go out of bounds. Just a 27-yard punt. Notre Dame's going to have to clean up a lot. Good opponent coming in for the SEC. Vanderbilt had a big win today, 41-10 over Nevada. And the Commodores will come to South Bend. Hey, note the starting time, by the way. We're 2:30 Eastern time Saturday here on NBC. The rest of the afternoon games here in South Bend will be 2:30 Eastern time. So note the time. Be with us as the Irish and the Commodores meet. And look at the other ranked scores. Very busy night, including USC Stanford, rematch the Pac-12 championship, and 2 teams the Irish will see later on this year. Rory Lacanaria has been around the ball a lot today. That's his 5th catch. And it's just over midfield, 3:46 to go. Ball State down 11. Riley Neal passing it. More tempo in this offense. Time winding down. Caleb Huntley there, Doug.
You can't play this offense in off coverage because Riley Neal has great rhythm and timing on those timing throws. You have to disrupt the receivers and get your hands on the receivers, which Notre Dame has done for most of the game. But these off throws all day.
Riley Miller to the far side to the 37-yard line. 3:21. Still plenty of time here for Ball State. They still have their 2 timeouts. This is a Notre Dame defense that has seen the ball move down the field on them. A couple of different drives here.
And now they're up and bump and run, up and press on the corners.
Pass rush flushes Neal. Now he's got a man breaking free. Lacanaria, did he catch it? Yes, with a flag inside the 5, but we also have the hat off of the official. Now let's see what has happened on this play. Troy Pride Jr. was there in coverage of Lacanaria.
Illegal touching. Number 11, offense. Went out of bounds on his own, was first to touch the ball. The penalty is loss of down at the previous spot. 3rd down.
That's the hat off from the official, and it eliminates a 34-yard completion.
So when he made his pivot move and took off up the field, he stepped out of bounds, becomes ineligible. But Notre Dame got press coverage, took away the rhythm throw, forced Neal to hang on the ball and scramble. They almost made a big play out of it. Again, up in press coverage.
We're going to run down 11 inside of 3 minutes left to get the first down on that 3rd and 1 at the 34-yard line. They'll have to be on the ball and move it. They need it twice.
Pick up the pace, guys. Line up.
Change reset. Game clock restarts.
And now they're off coverage. Rhythm throw if he has it.
Irish bring pressure. Neal completes to Riley Miller. Familiar blanket of comfort. 6 catches for Hall, 6 for Miller.
He's got that throw down. Now, if you play off coverage, he's running a quick speed out or hitch or something. That's a completion.
It's a Ball State team that was picked to finish last in the Western Division of the MAC. I think their talent's better than that. Screen was snuffed out, set up, and Drew Tranquil made the play.
Well, the back went the wrong way, Coach. The screen was supposed to go right. The O-line went right. The back went left. Tranquil had no one blocking him. Came up and made the play.
Inside of 2 minutes remaining. Not afford to let this much time run off. And for Ball State, Notre Dame very happy to see the pace here. Neal flushed again, fires across his body, incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down. Julian Aquaro was the chasing man there. And now they're going to try to kick the field goal again. And then go for the onside kick to get the ball back. It's going to be a pretty long field goal. 48, 49 yards for Hagee. His career long 47 against UAB. Just inside of the 50, 49-yarder for Morgan Hagee. On the line, is it long enough? He got it by a couple of yards, and Ball State has made this a 1-possession game with 90 seconds remaining.
Can you say onside kick, Coach?
Oh, it's coming. It is coming. There's a whole bunch of rain going through the Midwest and the Northeast. I want to update everyone. The change of time for the golf tournament. They've moved the tee times. They got a late start today because of the rain. So it's 8 a.m. Eastern time on Golf Channel. 2 o'clock here on NBC for the final round coverage of the BMW Championships. They're trying to sneak that in. Of course, the Tour Championship coming up. The playoffs continue, so they've moved the tee time. So we'll go early with you live on Golf Channel, 8 Eastern time. So the NASCAR race has moved to 1 Eastern time on NBCSN. Sunday Night Football, Football Night in America, 7 Eastern, kickoff 8:20. So busy day, Golf Channel, NBCSN, and NBC tomorrow. A lot going on, so join us for all of that. Join us now for this onside kick from Hagee in this 8-point game with 90 seconds left. Irish has their hands team out there, and Cole Kmet, who was hurt before, would be one of the guys out there for Notre Dame right now. Ball State moving players around. It's going to come to their right. Tranquil goes up, absorbs the hit, takes the ball at the 45-yard line. Minute 29, 2 timeouts remaining as the Irish take over. Down to the field in Catherine.
Well, guys, Cole Kmet went into the medical tent. He's now out with his teammates, but I'm told by the medical staff he is done for the day with a right leg injury, Mike.
Okay, Catherine, I'm sure they'll check that out with whatever MRI or X-ray they might need going forward. He got rolled up on those, oftentimes look terrible. You hope that it is not as bad for Cole Kmet. Terrific baseball player as well. Big promise this year. 2 timeouts, designed run to the right with Wimbush, has to stay inbounds. Does so at the 41. Will force Mike New to pull that first timeout. 1 left now with 1:22 to go.
Probably be around 10 to 15 seconds left as 4th down approaches. If Ball State were to come up with a stop.
Ball State's Josh Miller was injured on that play for the Cardinals, and they're looking at his right leg. That's a kid that Doug told you about earlier, who did the challenge with his coach Mike New to get back to his playing weight. Coach New did, so Miller wore New's number 14 in practice. It's a young man who was at an NAIA school, Marion, transferred, walked on, earned a scholarship, and he's become the man in their weight program. Squats 485, 2.5 times his body weight, 36-inch vertical, and has become really beloved within this Cardinal team, and that's why many folks going over to check out on him. I see he got leg whipped there. Spinning around, and Robert Hainsey was coming across and got him in the back of the leg. Good to see him walk off.
1 first down ends the game. If you were to force a 4th down, it'd be about 15 to 20 seconds left in the game, and Notre Dame could even go for it at that point, depending.
Try to manage the clock and end the game. 4 yards, 6 yards would do that for the Irish. No, 4 yards. It was a gain of 6. It is 2nd and 4. Wimbush going to run to the left, and he gets to the 35-yard line. The ball comes out, and it looks like he was down first. He was, according to the line judge.
Player was down. First down.
And that first down would end the game. Assuming it wasn't a fumble. Didn't appear to be live. Let's see here. Wimbush had dove down, hit the ground.
Definitely elbow on the ground before the ball came out.
And that should just about do it.
Ruling on the field is first down. Previous play is under review.
Look at it, shouldn't take long. And Doug, it's fitting that a first down picked up in a sloppy way would be the way this game ends, because that would define this game from the Notre Dame perspective. They have been sloppy throughout.
No doubt about it. Some big plays offensively, but overall no consistency. Turnovers, interceptions. The ground can't cause the fumble when the forearm or knee is down.
It should be a 2-second review.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The ball carrier was past the line to gain. First down.
So a couple of kneel downs. It'll take all 3 kneel downs if Ball State uses their timeout.
I thought they used it there. Let's see. So Doug, what's your takeaway here for the Irish as you watch this game? Yeah, Ball State did use their third and final timeout. They're out of time.
So 2 kneel downs and it'll be over. But from a Notre Dame perspective, they would have loved to have dominated the line of scrimmage with their offensive line. Some stunting, some moving, some athletic linebacker play, penetrating, gave them some big-time problems. A lot of negative plays. 10 tackles for loss for Ball State, getting into the backfield. Brandon Wimbush looked a little uncomfortable at times. He made some big plays, threw for 297 yards. Had a couple balls dropped early that could have also been big plays. But then he made some poor decisions again, and that's what frustrates Brian Kelly. He knows he has Ian Book over there on the sideline. There's the frustration a little bit. got a great athlete at quarterback that's going to win a lot of football games where he played great last week, plays great at times, sometimes makes Brian Kelly shake his head.
His record's going to improve to 11-3 as a starting quarterback. Notre Dame did think they were going to get some players in because there's a new rule that freshmen can play 4 games in college football and not lose a year of eligibility, any 4 games. And if you look at the Notre Dame schedule, this was the opponent with the least pedigree. You figured this would have been a game that they would have seen some of those players. But as we said, that's if things go as planned, and the plan was different. Full credit to Ball State. Heck of an effort for Mike New's team. His team's going to win more than 2 games in the MAC in all likelihood this year. Brian Kelly's team wins 24-16 to improve to 2-0 on the season. And we'll go down to the field as Catherine Tappan is standing by with the Irish head coach. Catherine.
Coach, you get the win in spite of some costly turnovers and some miscues by your team. How were you able to overcome those mistakes?
Well, I thought we played, pretty good defense, opportunistic. We had some, interceptions, some big picks, and then we didn't break. I thought we hung in there defensively. We were on the field way too long. Ball State did a great job today. They were well coached. They played really hard. We didn't play to the standard that I had talked about, prior to the game. So, we understand it's hard to win, and happy for our guys. They got to win, but we got a lot of work to do.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Mike?
All right, Tap, thank you. The work will begin for the Irish coaching staff tonight, tomorrow morning, and then the Commodores of Vanderbilt come in next week. You want to hear more of what Brian Kelly has to say about this one? Full press conference for you, NBCSports.com. As we said, busy day tomorrow, including the premiere of Sunday Night Football, Bears and Packers, 7 Eastern. We begin with Football Night in America. Tonight, it's America's Got Talent and Dateline. Vandy next week, 2:30 Eastern Time here on NBC. Josh Friedenberg, producer, Pierre Boussard, director, with Doug Flutie, Terry McCauley, and Catherine Tappan, and our entire NBC on Notre Dame crew, Mike Tirico. Thanks for watching Notre Dame Football, presented by Gillette.